Court of Fulton County for today, May 26, 2025. This is a virtual proceeding, so please, and we have quite an extensive calendar. So if there are any family members, friends, alleged victims, folks who are observing, please switch off your video and keep your Zoom panel on mute. You can restart your video and unmute when you want to be heard on a particular case. But until you see that case being addressed, switch off your video and mute your screen. Okay, a couple of housekeeping matters. Mr. Jordan, what's our reset date, please?
Reverend Judge Law, it is June the 10th.
Okay.
Tuesday, June 10th.
Tuesday, thank you. And we don't have our add-on calendar yet, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. They haven't been sent out yet.
All right, I anticipate about 9 more cases to be added to this calendar, so that's the calendar we're waiting on. So if we don't address a particular individual's case within the next hour or so, that's because we're waiting on the calendar, so please be patient. Tiffany Twum, please mute your screen and switch your video off. This individual who's got Samsung, same thing, or switch your video off. Sheila Miller, switch your video off. Folks, I'm serious. I've got a big calendar, and so if you don't listen to instructions, I will remove you from the Zoom. Okay? Again, if you are not an attorney, if you're a friend, alleged victim, family member, someone in support of case, switch your video off and keep your screen on mute. Thank you. My name is Judge Law, and this is going to be the first appearing calendar for misdemeanors for today, May 26. We're going to be addressing each case on a one-on-one basis. These are cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being booked in, their cases were formally accused by the prosecutor, who is the Solicitor General of Fulton County. As these cases have now been formally accused, when I address your case, I will let you know what is your new case number, what are the charges brought against you, to appoint counsel for you where necessary, and to set a bond for your charges. Some of you may also receive a new court date to appear in court, which will today presently is June 10th, 2025, on Tuesday at 9 a.m. That will also be a virtual proceeding. So folks who are interested in attending that particular session, please make sure you get the Zoom link from the Clerk of State Court of Fulton County Criminal Division. If you are a defendant accused of one or more misdemeanor offenses, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you choose to say in open court in front of everyone during this proceeding, virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. Remember that this virtual proceeding is not only being recorded, but live streamed. So any comments you want to make, let me know if you want to speak to your attorney, and we'll give you that chance. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Today, when I address your case, I will be also addressing the issue of bond. And the type of bond and the amount that you receive will depend on several factors, primarily your criminal record history, if you have one, the nature of the allegations, and the fact of whether you have any other open cases, including whether you've got prior failures to appear or bench warrants. So many factors are going to go into play to decide whether you receive what we call a signature bond, in which you would not have to pay for the bond today, but you would have to comply with certain conditions. Others may qualify for what we call a surety bond or a cash bond. Okay, who's hosting this session? Ms. Grace? Mr. Jordan? Mr. Jordan, we have a Christopher Quinn. Please put him in the waiting room. He doesn't listen to instructions. Christopher Quinn, thank you. As I was saying, some of you may qualify for what we call a surety bond or a cash bond. In that particular case, you would have to pay for the bond either through a bonding company or out of your own pocket. Okay, let's begin with courtroom 2. Who do we have, please?
We can start with position 24. Mr. Smith.
Judge Law, before we begin, I have an announcement on position 12.
Ms. Dunlop, could you put your video on, please?
Sorry, there we go. I just had a quick announcement on position 12. That's going to be null prost.
All right. Deputy, if you have a Denitria Montgomery, either in courtroom 2 or at Fulton ACDC, Deputy Milton, do you have a Denitria Montgomery?
Yes, dear.
All right, her case is dismissed.
Thank you.
Be addressed today. All right, are there any other announcements, Ms. Dunlop or Ms. Allen?
No.
Okay. Okay, and courtroom 2, that was position 24. We get to that? All right. We have Napoleon Smith. Mr. Smith has got a few misdemeanor charges under accusation 25 CR 2950D for an incident from May 23rd, 2025. And the misdemeanor offenses are as follows. They're going to be for littering. I haven't seen that for a while. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, tampering with evidence, and public drunkenness. Sounds like an interesting evening. So these are the 5 misdemeanor charges against Mr. Smith. And who is Ms.
Case, Your Honor.
Oh, so I'm sorry, Ms. Allen. Let me get his GCIC. Ms. Hardy, good afternoon. May I have Mr. Smith's GCIC?
Yes, Your Honor. The last arrest was December 31st, 2024, out of Atlanta for possession of marijuana with intent. They have 39 total arrest cycles. There's 5 felony convictions outside the last 10-year period. There's a 2016 robbery felony conviction, theft by taking in 2014 misdemeanor conviction. There's 2 open cases. The first one is 25 SC 001434 for aggravated assault, terroristic threats and acts, and possession of a firearm, and 24 SC 001398 riot in a penal institution. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Your Honor. He's got a 2025 failure to appear. That last arrest in December of 2024 was dismissed. It was a possession of felony level drugs, I believe. But it's significant because it took place at 252 Forsyth, which is the Greyhound station there. And it is similar to the case you're about to hear about. The case in front of you today in these misdemeanor charges come from a 5/23. So May the 23rd, the defendant, among other people, were seen loitering outside of 215 Forsyth Street. That's the Quick Pick Food Market. So in the parking lot area in the public space there. He was observed by officers throwing his cigarette butts on the ground, drinking alcohol, pouring liquor into a cup, drinking alcohol there on the scene in public. When police arrived and tried to communicate with him, he put his cup down and walked away. He refused verbal commands. He was seen to have put items in his mouth. He refused to answer questions, but then started to say that he wasn't feeling well because he ate 3 Percocet and he needed to go to the hospital. He had marijuana in his possession. The significance of the December issue is that it's not only on Forsyth Street as well, there at the Greyhound station, but he did the same thing. He swallowed 5 Percocet when police approached him and then said, "I don't feel so good. I got to go to the hospital." He does have that open aggravated assault and riot in a penal institution, as well as the failure to appear from this year. I would note his address is 330 Brownlee Road, so I'm not sure why he's anywhere near the Greyhound station or the Quick Pick on Forsyth Street. We're asking for a $5,000 surety, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and to stay away from Forsyth Street downtown absolutely entirely. Thank you.
Ms. McLeod?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon.
I'm asking for a signature bond for my client. He should not have been arrested, Your Honor. This is just a case of police harassment. He was just standing there. This was 4:45 in the afternoon, talking with some people that he knew. And the police officer approached him just because he threw a cigarette butt on the ground. I'm not saying that people should do this, Your Honor. It was such a minor offense. He could simply have asked him to pick it up and put it in a trash can. Instead, he escalated it into charging him with 5 separate misdemeanors: obstruction, littering, marijuana possession. First of all, if he had not been harassing Mr. Smith, he would not have even known that he had marijuana. And also, marijuana possession in the city of Atlanta is an offense which normally one just receives a citation for. I think this is police officer overreach, Your Honor. I'm asking for a signature bond for my client. He's not in a position to pay for bond.
Okay, thank you. On the littering, it's $100 signature bond through the jail. On the misdemeanor possession of marijuana, that is going to be $100 signature bond through the jail. On the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, that's going to be a $500 surety. On the tampering with evidence, that's going to be a $250 signature bond through the jail. And the public drunk is going to be a $500 surety. So, so that's 1,000. 250, 350, 450. That is a $1,450 split bond. No illegal drugs. If he plans to ever dabble in any marijuana, please take it outside the state of Georgia. In Georgia, it's still an illegal substance. And to stay away from all the Greyhound bus stations in the city of Atlanta, unless he has a ballot ticket. And then he's allowed to be at the location at least 1 hour before his estimated departure time. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Thank you. Next court date is June 10th.
Your Honor, can we get a stay away from 215 Forsyth, the quick pick, which is where this incident occurred? And he was probably arrested because police are well aware of who he is. He was just arrested on Forsyth.
Well, that's not a good statement for the prosecutor to make at this juncture, but I am going to require him to stay away from the quick pick grocery store to the Greyhound station as well. Thank you.
Your Honor, it's just a store. He's not alleged to have done anything with respect to the store except standing outside of the store.
McLeod, is that within 200 yards of the Greyhound bus station?
I am not sure exactly where it is, Your Honor. And the prosecution said he lived on Brownlee. Brownlee is within walking distance of that location, if my recollection is correct.
I don't know, folks. I'm
familiar with Brownlee. It's not that far away.
I don't know. You tell me. Is there any reason for him to be at the quick pick market?
No, the only reason he's there is to hang out and litter and drink openly and swallow Percocet pills and sell drugs until he gets arrested, just like he did in December.
Nobody has seen him selling any drugs, and he's not charged with this at this
time. The reality is he was a known individual. Police were watching and surveilling the location, and they specifically saw him commit these crimes. That's why he was arrested. This isn't some kind of a set up for some innocent man. He needs to stay away from both of those locations. That's what the state's requesting.
I'm not here to adjudicate his guilt or innocence. I'm just here to figure out whether trouble follows him or he follows trouble. But in either event, clearly that location is not suitable for him since he seems to draw trouble. So I'm going to require him to stay away from that market as well as the Greyhound bus station. Like I said, if he plans to travel on Greyhound, he must have a ballot ticket and he's allowed to be there at least 60 minutes before his departure time. Otherwise, do not be anywhere close to the Quick Pick or the Greyhound bus station, either one of them in Metro Atlanta. And Mr. Smith, you should appreciate the fact that there are two very professional women who are arguing over your case, but keep this in mind, that if you come back to jail the next time within the next 12 months, the likelihood of getting a signature bond has been boiled down to 0. So best of luck, stay out of trouble, get a job and quit drinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, next case, please.
Go to position 6, Ms. Lane.
Adriana Lang is accused of battery family violence from December 7th of last year, case number 25CR2958E. Ms. Lang, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. Keith Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor's first arrest.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Nixon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. State is
And
asking for,
go ahead.
yes, the state is asking for $1,000 surety bond for the battery, family violence on December 7th, 2024. The grandmother, Loretta Jenkins, and the granddaughter, the defendant, got into an argument because the victim told the defendant that she could not bring a stray dog to her home. She told her to leave, but the defendant got angry, shut her leg in the door, grabbed her by the hair, and struck her. The victim stated that she also received scratches. Now, recently, she was arrested by the Atlanta Police Department on an outstanding warrant issued. And the victim actually petitioned for TPO on December 11th in 2025. A final hearing wasn't had because the defendant had not been served. And I think an emergency TPO was in place between December 11th to January 7th of 2025. And that case number is 24 CV015705. The state's going to ask for no further contact with the victim and stay away from the incident location. Anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, is Loretta Jenkins on the Zoom? Loretta Jenkins? All right. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. This is
Yes, I'm on the Zoom. Sorry.
All right, Ms. Jenkins, you would need to start your video, please.
Yes, ma'am. Let me see.
All right. Ms. Jenkins, did you have something to add to these proceedings?
No, ma'am.
All right, then you can mute your screen.
I'm good at what they said they were going to do.
All right. Are you comfortable with Ms. Lang being back in your home?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Please mute your screen, please. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Cook?
yes, Your Honor. This was her first arrest. She does not have to go back to the location. She can stay with a friend.
Do we have the friend's name?
I don't know. Miss Lang, I must have not written that down. Miss Lang, do you have the friend's name you can provide the court?
Deputy, please unmute.
What did you say?
What is the friend with whom you'll be living?
It's a person I just want me to give them their name? It's Adriana Alexander.
That person would have to give their name even on our public records for your pretrial release bond. So if you don't have a name, then no signature bond.
Adriana Alexander. I can give y'all a number for her, for y'all to contact her.
You will give the number to the deputy who will put it in the chat to Mr. Michael Jordan. Thank you. All right, you were saying, Mr. Cook?
Yes, beyond that, we would object to the conditions given this is her first arrest. We don't think at this point, anger awareness or any alcohol and drug evaluations would be necessary. We'd be asking for the signature bond would have to be through pretrial.
Okay. This was a warrant issued from the warrant application calendar in Magistrate Court of Fulton County. Looks like Judge Wolf granted the warrant on February 3rd, 2025. Her bond is going to be $2,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services level 1. She's to have no further contact with Loretta Jenkins and to stay away from the location at 6850 Smoke Ridge Drive in Atlanta, Georgia, 303, I think that's 49. Ms. Lang, from this point onwards, you're not to communicate with Ms. Jenkins in any way, form, or manner, including phone calls, computer, social media, and so forth. And you are to stay away from that location, at least 200 yards away. Your next court date will be sent to your friend's address, Adrian Alexander, and we'll need her address and her phone number in order for us to send you your next court summons to appear in court. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deputy Milton?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Next is position number 5, Miss Johnson.
This is State versus Shaniah Kiara Johnson, accused of battery family violence from May 24th of this year, accusation 25 CR 2957G. Ms. Johnson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was February 15th, 2022, out of Albany for theft of lost or mislaid property, and that's their only arrest cycle, nothing further.
Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The offense date was May 24th, 2025, and upon arrival, the officer met with the defendant, who reported a physical altercation with their child's father, Mr. Quantavious Robinson. Ms. Johnson explained that she came to the location to pick up her son, and according to her, a verbal dispute escalated into a physical confrontation when Mr. Quantavious Robinson threatened to punch her and choked her. And Mr. Johnson stated that Mr. Quantavious's mother intervened and separated both the parties. And then the officer then spoke with Mr. Quantavious, who confirmed the physical altercation. He mentioned that Ms. Johnson had come in to retrieve their son and described her as being verbally aggressive and throwing rocks at him. Now, Mr. Quantavious claimed that Ms. Johnson was in close proximity to him and struck him in the face with an object which he described as a blue pen. Now, Ms. Quantavious clearly asserted that he made contact with Ms. Robinson by pushing her in the chest with the palm of his hand. And during the investigation, the officer observed that Ms. Quantavious had minor lacerations and bleeding on his face, while there were no apparent injuries on Ms. Johnson's body or neck. The officer also spoke with Ms. Mahone, Mr. Quantavious' mother, who witnessed the fight, and she stated that she saw both Ms. Johnson and her son fighting before she intervened. Ms. Mahone acknowledged that Ms. Johnson had an object in her hand, but could not identify it at that moment. Both parties had previously lived together in Charlotte. The state is asking for the no further contact with the victim to promote a cooling off period, stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons filed on bond.
All right. Mr. Quantavious Robinson, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video if you want to say something. All right. Mr. Cook, anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. It seems that at best for my client, or at worst from my client's point of view, there was perhaps some mutual combat. Sometimes the police decide who they're going to arrest in these things, and I don't believe Mr. Robinson was arrested. My client's position is that he was the primary aggressor and that she fought back. There's no issue of a stay away or those kinds of things because they don't live together. So staying away and no further contact is not a problem. We would be asking, therefore, for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Okay, thank you. On the battery family violence, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. She's to have no further contact with Quantavious Robinson and stay away from the 1230 Hartford Avenue, Southwest Atlanta. She's to stay away from the entire location. I'll allow for third-party transfer if she wants to continue having a parenting plan with Mr. Robinson, which means that a third party must pick up the child and drop him off with Mr. Robinson, and then the third party will pick up the child and return the child back to the defendant. The defendant herself cannot have any contact with Mr. Robinson and stay away from where he lives, where he works, and stay at least 200 yards away from him and not communicate with him in any way, form, or manner. If the Quantavious Robinson has not legitimated the child, then he will have the option of going to the Superior Court and obtaining a court order to establish a parenting plan.
Your Honor, I got a question.
Who is on phone?
Quantavious Robinson.
If you want to talk to the court, you need your video on and you need your name on the screen. So if that's Mr. Robinson, put your video on.
Hold on. Shit.
Will the host please? Okay. Mr. Robinson, is that you?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge.
Yes.
All right. Have you legitimated the child you share with Miss Johnson?
No.
And is a child born out of wedlock?
Yes.
All right. So if you wish to have contact with the child, there must be a third party who picks up and drops off the child between you and Miss Johnson. Otherwise, you can go to the Superior Court and file a legitimation case and obtain a court-ordered parenting plan. Just make sure that you've appointed a third party to carry out the parenting plan. Of course, Miss Johnson will have to be served, and she can also ask for child support or contest any parenting plan you propose.
Okay. My question is whether we don't have a third party.
Well, start looking for one. Good luck. You're free to go.
Your Honor,
Yes.
and until such legal visitation arrangement to the court is established, would it not be up to my client until such time as that occurs, whether there would be any visitation at all, third party or not?
Under normal circumstances, yes, sir. But currently, given the altercation from a visitation issue, she has the absolute right to say no visitation, no custody for Mr. Robinson at the present time.
That's what I was asking.
Okay, so if Mr. Robinson wants to assert his parental rights and obtain joint visitation, joint custody, the best thing for him to do is to file a legitimation case. Because if he does not, he has absolutely no rights with the child and the absolute obligation to share in child support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Next, we can go to South Annex, position 10.
South Annex, okay. All right. This is Aaron McClendon. Mr. McClendon, could you sit closer to the screen? Right. The lighting is questionable, but I think I can make out, and it matches the jail mugshot. Okay. This is Aaron McClendon, accused of simple battery family violence from May 24th of this year. His case number is 25 CR 002969D. Mr. McClendon, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Mr. Jawan Haddad. And any priors, Ms. Hardy?
This is the first arrest.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Who's my prosecutor? Mr. Nixon, Ms. Allen, Ms. Dunlap? Ms. Dunlap?
Sorry, it's me. I was having a computer problem.
No problem. Okay, go ahead.
This is Aaron, simple battery. So the incident location, 1899 Linwood Ave in East Point. Officers responded to his address regarding a missing person initially. I guess from what I know, he's a minor. He's 17 years old. His birthday is in October, so he's not 18 as of yet. But anyway, he was a missing person. They spoke with looks like a Gladys McClendon, who stated defendant had returned to the residence. Officers were checking on him. Apparently, defendant had missed medication and all these other things, and he said he told everybody where he was going, but apparently he didn't. As officers were leaving, Ms. McClendon ran back outside to get officers because apparently defendant had assaulted his aunt, the victim in this case, Alma Demery. Once officers came back inside and made contact with all of them, she stated the defendant had kicked her in the stomach. He was acting irate and trying to run out of the room. The argument, I guess, began because the victim had asked the defendant for his phone. He told her no. He said, F you, B word, kicked her in the stomach, and it turned into a physical scuffle. It doesn't look like we were able to get in contact with the victim in this case, as his aunt. But like I said, he is a minor. So, I mean, I'm asking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to leave it up to the court's discretion about no further contact because at this point, he's going to need a cosigner to even get out of jail. And I don't know if anyone is here to speak for him regarding that or like a stay away. I would ask, since he was reportedly a missing person, why police were there in the first place, to give him a curfew, either 6 or 9 p.m. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Is it Alma McClendon? Alma DeMary, excuse me. Alma DeMary or Gladys McClendon present? Either one or both on Zoom? All right, Mr. Hadar?
Thank you, Judge. Also, likewise, I was unable to get hold of the aunt. I do have a number for a grandmother. I left her a voicemail, Judge. I have not heard back since we need a probably cosigner since he's 17. I would ask the court to follow the state's recommendation in terms of release through pretrial services. If the court is going to put a cosigner, I just needed to follow up and see if we can get somebody. At this point, I don't have really anybody.
Envoy at Singleton Yard. Incoming from Envoy at Singleton Yard.
No, I think that's commentary from the South Annex. Okay. On the simple battery family violence, it's going to be 3,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. Grandmother is Gladys McClendon, isn't it?
That is not the name. No, Judge. I don't know who that is. I mean, it might be another grandmother, but the grandmother that I have is a different name with it.
I have a Gladys McClendon. I have Aunt Alma DeMary. Who do you have?
Darlene Price.
Ooh.
And my understanding, just from speaking to my client, it sounded like he has been living with his aunt for the last 5 years. Again, I don't know the dynamics of the family or anything that sort. But he does have a sister. I do not have a phone number for her, Judge. The only number I had was for the grandmother that I had mentioned, Judge.
All right, I guess Aaron knows better, but if I put Darlene Price on the bond and there's no such Darlene Price, he's going to stay in jail until the Darlene Price shows up to sign his bond.
Would the court be inclined to putting what I'm saying is if the aunt is willing to take him back, and again, I've not talked to her, but and if she's willing to take him back and she's willing to sign on him, I'd hate to.
I'm going to put down adult relative except Aunt Alma.
Okay.
All right.
Let me see what I can do. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Parent cosigner, relative cosigner is going to be an adult relative, someone who's over the age of 18, has a valid address, either leasing or owning or renting. And it can be anyone except Alma DeMary. DeMary is D-I-M-E-R-Y. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Within 10 days of being released on a signature bond, he will undergo either a BHET or an MHET with a qualified healthcare provider and be compliant with all counseling, medication, and treatment. No violent contact with Gladys McClendon, no violent contact with Alma DeMary, no violent contact with whoever his co-signer is and the occupants of that home. I don't know where he plans to live, but so within 30 days of being released, he must come down to the clerk's office and confirm his mailing address in writing. Thank you.
Next is position 8.
South Annex, did you have any other cases with us?
No, that was the only one for today.
All right, so you have a good Monday. Thank you.
You too.
Okay, Yana Lunger is case number 25 CR 002-960C. Miss Lunger has got, I just want to make sure I got that number correct, 5 misdemeanor offenses. Count 1 is simple battery, family violence. Count 3 is battery, family violence. And counts 2, 4, and 5 are cruelty in the 3rd degree. Ms. Lunger, you have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, this is first arrest.
Okay. And Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to ask for a $500 surety bond for the simple battery, $500 for the surety, $500 surety for the battery family violence, and $500 surety per each count for the cruelty to children in third degree. Now, on May 25th, 2025, officer was dispatched to 405 Wood Trace Court in reference to a physical domestic, and Alpharetta dispatch advised a caller, who later identified as the accused, stated she was slapped and choked by her husband. When the officer arrived on scene, he met with the victim here, Mr. Kevin, who I believe is on Zoom. Mr. Kevin stated that the defendant was verbally attacking him on their way home. Kevin's oldest daughter, initials A as in Alpha, L, was also in the vehicle and had the audio of the defendant verbally attacking Kevin. Now, Kevin stated when they finally made it home, the defendant continued to verbally attack him and get in his face. And Kevin stated that he tried moving the defendant away from him, but he eventually decided to walk away. Kevin stated the defendant approached him again, but began slapping him and scratching his arms. The officer observed red marks on his arms that matched Kevin's story of getting scratched. And according to Kevin, he was grabbing the accused's wrist to get her to stop her from physically attacking him. Now, Kevin stated AL came halfway down the stairs telling them to stop fighting. And Kevin stated that the accused eventually stopped and got into a heated argument with AL, where the defendant slapped AL in the face with an open hand. Now, Kevin also has video footage of this slapping as well. And according to Kevin, he placed one of his hands around the chest area of the accused to move her from AL. AL spoke with officer as well and confirmed what happened. And the defendant stated Kevin was verbally attacking her on the way. And when they finally got home, the accused got upset with Kevin. And because he did not help out with the children, the defendant stated that while arguing with Kevin, she stated she slapped her twice. She slapped him twice, but the officer didn't observe any visual markings. The accused admitted to slapping AL on the stairs. The state's going to ask for no further contact to promote a cooling off period at this moment, anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, Mr. Kevin Lunger, if you want to testify, please unmute your screen. All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right. Are you Kevin Lunger?
Yes.
Presently married to the defendant, Yana Lunger?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And as you know, the prosecutor is requesting that Mrs. Lunger no longer not have any contact with you and to stay away from the marital home. Do you have any comment?
Yes, I disagree with that. We do have 3 other kids in the home. I have no problem with her returning home.
You want a home because you can't care for 3 kids, or you want a home because you genuinely want a home and you feel comfortable with her being home? I mean, don't tell me you want a home just because childcare is going to be an issue.
No, Your Honor, childcare won't be an issue.
Then what is it?
We do want her home. When the call was initially made, it wasn't to send her to jail. We just wanted to make a report of the incident.
All right. And have there been any history of past violence between the 2 of you?
Not physical.
Okay. Mr. Cook, I'm going to grant a signature bond through pretrial services with no further violent contact with Kevin Lunger and the children in question. On the simple battery, it's going to be 1,000. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. Count 3 is going to be 2,000. Count 4 is 1,000. And count 5 is 1,000. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6,000. Signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further violent contact with Kevin Lunger and no further violent contact with the children and any other occupant in the home. Within 30 days, she will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program, and she will report the enrollment to her pretrial officer. And this is a series of 26 classes where she will have to attend and complete each class at her expense. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And she will be subject to random screens for alcohol and illegal drugs. Mr. Lunger, do you own or possess any firearms at home?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Because if they are, they need to be removed because either Yana lives with you or your firearm. So you get to pick.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Next court date will be sent to the Wood Trace location. And if she fails to appear or she gets arrested again or does not report to pretrial or doesn't enroll in DBIP, the bond will be revoked. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm. Deputy Moulton, who do we have?
Position 15, Miss Purdue.
Okay,
Miss Purdue.
Purdue. Okay. Miss Purdue has
15 and 16.
15 and 16. I thought she had two cases. Okay. Shakita Purdue has got a disorderly conduct offense charged against her from January 2nd, 2025. And that accusation number is 25 CR 2966H. Her second case is from May 23rd of this year, 25 CR 2968H, giving false information to an officer, willful obstruction of an officer, and simple battery against an officer. Ms. Purdue, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was February 25th, 2025 out of East Point for disorderly conduct. They have a total of 17 arrest cycles in Georgia. Felony conviction in 2011 for aggravated assault. There's a 2024 driving while license suspended or revoked, a 2011 disorderly conduct, nothing further.
Any FTAs?
One moment, I can check that for you.
Okay.
I only have an FTA for her from.
All right, Ms. Dunlop, what's the recommendation?
Let's see. For the disorderly conduct, honestly, I don't know, based on the warrant, I'm not sure exactly what was going on there. It was from January 2nd, 2025. It involved her minor daughter, initials JP. Looks like she's around 12. She was walking down the street. Police saw her crying. The stepfather was chasing her down the street, calling her name. When they spoke to the daughter, she stated the stepfather had essentially put his hands on her. And then the mother, which is the defendant, came outside and was using all sorts of, I guess, vulgar language towards her. If you read the warrant, she said, "You stupid F word, I'm going to F you up," all of these things to the minor. In front of police, they said they both reeked of alcohol. And it looks like they were both arrested in this case. We couldn't find the stepfather, so I'm not even sure what's going on in that situation. And whether there would be I don't even know if we can say no further contact with her minor child. I don't know what to do with that one. Because disorderly conduct was for her, I guess, essentially screaming at the child. So I am asking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial on the disorderly conduct. I'm gonna ask for a stay away from this location only because the second incident on the 23rd, with, it looks like she got arrested. The initial call came from the same stepfather involved in this, that she essentially kicked the door in. We don't have the background information about why or what's going on in this home at this point, only that they were all there. This happened. She was resisting police. She ended up kicking the officer. And so I'm going to ask for a $4,000 surety bond on that one. That's going to be one on the false name, one on the willful, and then 2 on the battery against a police officer. Stay away from this address. Like I said, I don't know where this minor child resides or if this is what was going on with this at this time. 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I know we can't sound for the minor, but possibly, I guess we could sound for Mr. Tracy Lowe.
Mr. Tracy Lowe, Lowe. If you're on Zoom, this would be the time to unmute and start your video. All right, I've got I don't see anyone responding. All right, Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, my client is 48 years old and has lived in the Atlanta area for 48 years. We understand the battery, particularly regarding the police officer, an obstruction will probably negate any chance at a signature bond. But I can tell you, my client is unemployed, stays at home with her daughter, receives benefits of only food stamps. There's nobody else to stay with the daughter. I'm not sure who's with her now. So what I'd ask that she be able to return home and beyond that, I guess I would leave it within the discretion of the court. This is just one of those situations where there's just nobody out there to take care of the daughter, who I understand is 12 years old, and trying to piece together the best solution we have. And also we would ask for the lowest possible bond, since her income is essentially nil.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cook. On position 15, disorderly conduct, that's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail with no violent contact with a minor child. I understand the name is JP. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. On position 16, it's going to be $1,500 on each count. That's a $4,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 2. She will report to pretrial twice a month. No violent contact with law enforcement. She's to attend and complete 12 anger management classes at her expense, and she's to begin her first class within 45 days of being released. She must show proof that she's enrolled in an anger management program and that she's attending all 12 classes without missing or skipping any of them. Every time that she reports to pretrial, she must show at least 2 attempts with phone numbers and addresses that she has tried to apply for a job and what were the results of those applications. So every time she visits twice a month with pretrial, she must produce 2 written attempts to get a job until she secures one. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons, and she'll be subject to random screens.
Was that first signature bond 1K? Is that was that a level 1 or level? You're going to put it all under level 2?
No, sir. The first count of disorderly conduct is going to be a signature bond through the jail. I'm more concerned.
Through the jail. I'm sorry. Thank you, Your Honor.
Her second case is more concerning.
And that's 4,500 total on the second. Yeah, I get a total of 5,500, 1,000 jail, and 4,500 level 2. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Next is position 13, Ms. Parham.
It's a state versus Lamar, Parnum, accused of battery family violence from May 24th of this year, accusation 25 CR 2967G. Ms. Parham, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was March the 21st, 2025, out of Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, for driving while impaired. There's a total of 16 total arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and North Carolina, misdemeanor conviction in 2017 for a vice charge, 2015 battery. There's an open case for criminal trespass and damage to property out of Fulton. That case number is 24 CR 005641G. Nothing further.
Thank you. And Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. Incident location 2424 Stone Road in Atlanta. Victim in this case is Zanimea Parnum, Zanimea, last name Parham. Officers were dispatched to this address regarding a fight call. It looks like the defendant got upset with the victim, who was her daughter, because the victim asked her to get her a washcloth while she was in the shower. She punched the victim in the chest with a closed fist, left red marks on her. Apparently, officers said there was a previous incident that occurred on February 27th, 2025. They gave a case number for that, which was 250-01941, in reference to some of the same circumstances. So it was clearly some type of violence going on in this home. The state is looking for a $4,000 surety bond. I'm going to ask for no further contact with the victim. Stay away from this address. I do want to reiterate, I'm not even sure if this victim is a minor. She may be 17. I'm not positive. I mean, the defense attorney can advise on that. 2-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Yes, Shauna, we need to break this down a bit. Are you showing as one of the charges a criminal trespass?
No, no, sir. She's got an open criminal trespass and damage to property under case number 20 CR.
Okay, so that's not going to affect this. Well, you're not working on a bond for the criminal trespass.
No, that case from 2020.
That came from, I'm sorry, I think it came from Union City and they bound it over, but she paid a bond, so.
Okay.
Okay. On the, I apologize for interrupting.
No problem.
Let's see. My client called the police, and I know that's not dispositive, but it says something. She was cut. She went to Grady. She has stitches. So I don't know who the primary aggressor was, but she's the one that has the stitches. That's a problem. They may have arrested the wrong person. That happens sometimes, I truly believe, having done so many of these. But we would shoot. Let's see, she we would be asking for a signature bond if possible. I don't know the age of the daughter, but we would like her to be able to go back to Stone Road, apartment 5 East Point. And I'm not sure if the daughter lives there or not. I don't know what the prosecutors have. So we'd be asking for a signature bond. We have no problem with no further contact, but that's her home. So and when you go to Grady and you have to get stitches, something happened to you pretty seriously, and so we think this is actually somebody made a choice on who to arrest, and my client drew the short straw and also the stitches. So nothing further.
All right, the alleged victim is Zaneria Parham, 18 years old. If she's on Zoom, this will be the time to unmute and start your video. Zaneria Parham.
I couldn't reach her, so I don't know.
We couldn't reach her either.
Okay, thank you. On the battery family violence, it's going to be a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. She will report to pretrial services once a week. No further violent contact with Zaneria Parham. Within 30 days of being released, she will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program, and that is a 26-week program for family violence classes and counseling. She will attend each and every class without missing or skipping them and pay for them out of her own pocket. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons and firearms, and she'll be subject to random screens. If she violates any of the conditions of the bond, including not enrolling in the classes or not reporting to pretrial once a week or getting arrested again for something else, her bond will be revoked. Her next court date is going to be sent to her current address at the Stone Road location in East Point. And Ms. Parham, I cannot stress this any further, but now you have 2 open cases with the State Court of Fulton County. And if you violate any of my conditions, please understand you give me no choice but to issue either a cash bond or a surety bond, which won't be anything less than $10,000. So don't give me a reason to give you a more strict bond. Thank you.
Hey, Judge, I have a question. I know we partially mentioned it, but the criminal trespass in Odyssey doesn't have a bond next to it. So I wasn't sure if you wanted to address that charge as well.
You mean the case under 24 CR? Let me check and see.
That's the one I thought was initially went to Union City. She paid a bond, according to my client. She paid a bond. She came back for a court date. They told her it's been sent to Fulton County, so she may have already paid a bond for that. I ran out of time. I was not able to trace that down. And Union City's kind of hard to trace anyway.
Is there only one count or two counts? For 24 CR 005641G. Can somebody advise me, Mr. Jordan, perhaps? This is,
One charge, Judge.
I'm sorry?
It's only one charge on that case.
One charge. Okay, that'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. So it'll be for 24 CR 5641G. I'm going to set it at $2,000 signature bond through the jail. And this one is the 3,500 signature bond pre-trial. Okay.
So we have a 2K to the jail and 3,500 level 3 signature bond.
DBIP, yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Next case, please.
Position 28, Miss Williamson.
Miss Williamson, okay. And folks, I think the add-on calendar has been sent out. Just give me a moment. Right. Miss Elizabeth Williamson is accused of simple battery family violence from May 23rd of this year, case number 25CR2959B. Ms. Williamson, you have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Any priors, Mr. Hardy?
The last arrest was October 15th, 2004, out of LaGrange for driving under the influence of drugs and endangering a child by driving under the influence. That's their only arrest cycle, nothing further.
Thank you. Miss Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're requesting a $2,000 SOB through pretrial, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, a social worker visit, and no further violent contact with the individual named in this case, Christopher O'Quinn. On the 23rd of May at about 6:30 p.m., in the parking lot of the Walmart, which is 5200 Windward Way in Milton, staff at the Walmart encountered the defendant in front of you bleeding from her chin with a chipped tooth. She said she'd fallen down outside. She was extremely intoxicated. And she reported that her boyfriend had left her at the location. That's Mr. O'Quinn. When police were speaking with her, he arrived and came inside to customer service looking for her. He reported that police had actually been to the location that same day earlier and had told the defendant to go sleep it off, and she didn't, but continued to drink. And then at about 9 o'clock, she went inside to go use the bathroom. He put her purse outside. He also called her daughter to let her know what was going on. And he said he went across the street to the gas station and came back very shortly thereafter and realized that she'd fallen and police were on the scene. He reiterated that there was an obvious alcohol problem, that she'd continued to drink for about 5 hours after the last time police had been with the location. He reported that while in the vehicle where they're living together there at the location, she became more and more intoxicated and started to strike him repeatedly. And that's when he took advantage of the fact that she got out of the vehicle to take a minute and to call for help from her daughter. When police spoke to the defendant, she admitted that she struck Mr. O'Quinn multiple times. If you'd call for Mr. O'Quinn, we've spoken with him today, I believe. If not, we'd like to, but we're ready.
He said he was going to be on the Zoom if he could.
Thanks. We're recommending no further violent contact, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and a social worker visit for her.
Christopher Quinn, I do see your name on the screen. If you'd like to unmute and start your video, we'll be glad to hear from you if you want to contribute. All right, Mr. Cook, with regard to your
If it were, if the recommendation was signature bond with some conditions, we don't have any, we have no objection to that, Your Honor.
I just had a question. Does she live in a car, which is a movable address, or does she live in Rainey?
They've been living in an extended, stay motel. I mean, he's actually a technician or engineer on a gas pipe company and is working today. She worked 20 years for a propane company. So I can't tell you exactly what their living arrangements are. They are from LaGrange and they came up. She did not indicate to me she was living from their car. She told me she was living in an extended motel until they found further accommodations. And I did speak with him briefly, and he said he would be on the Zoom. But if not, we have no objection to the recommendation.
Bond is set at 2,500. The signature bond through pretrial services level 1. She will sign up for a release bond. She will report to pretrial once a month. Within 30 days, she will update the court with her new or current mailing address. Then we can be able to send her summons to appear in court the next time. Within 15 days of being released, she will go to a qualified healthcare provider and undergo an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit to any treatment or evaluation that's required. She will also complete 2 anger awareness classes with the pretrial services. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons, and she'll be subject to random screens. She's also to stay away from the Walmart store, the sidewalk, parking lot, the entire location at 5200 Wynwood Parkway in Alpharetta, Georgia. Next court date will be sent to her current mailing address, so it's very important that she updates with her current residential location. Thank you.
Miss Allen? Miss Allen?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if most of these anger management courses or anger awareness courses, are they generally online?
We don't know, Mr. Cook, but you can chat with Miss Hardy with pretrial. That's a program administered through pretrial.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Quorum 2, who do we have?
Have add-on 1, Miss Alt.
And Your Honor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Harrison.
How are you?
Fine.
Okay, that's actually a co-defendant case with add-on 6, Mr. Figuro. If for time's sake you wanted to present the facts for both of them at the same time.
We'll see. Miguel Figuro. I've never been able to pronounce that, even from the opera. Figuro. Okay, there we go. Figuro. Miguel Figuro. Quorum 2, is he in the courtroom with you guys?
Yes, Judge, one moment.
All right. While we wait for Mr. Figuro to appear next week. All right, Miss Melinda, Milinda, middle name Lai, Lai, last name Ault, is accused of loitering and prowling, criminal trespass. Well, 2 counts of criminal trespass from May 25th, 2025. There is a cross-defendant or co-defendant arrest as well. Miguel Figuro, case 25 CR 2979J, also accused with 2 counts of criminal trespass and loitering and prowling, same incident date. Ms. Ault and Ms. Figuro, you both have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney are as follows. Ms. Ault is represented by Mr. Haddad. Would that be correct?
Your Honor, I represent Mr. Figuro.
I represent him.
Okay, so Ms. Ault is represented by conflict counsel, Ms. Maureen McLeod, and Mr. Figuro is represented by Mr. Haddad. Ms. Hardy, have you had a chance to do the GCIC?
Yes, Your Honor, I have both.
All right, Ms. Alts?
Okay, for Miss Alt, their last arrest was March 29th, 2024 out of LaGrange for criminal trespass. They have a total of 4 arrest cycles.
And Mr. Figuro?
Mr. Figueroa, last arrest was April 26, 2025 out of Atlanta for criminal trespass, loitering and prowling. They're currently being supervised by pretrial on that case, and it's open under 25 CR 002188J. We'll be surrendering the bond on that. They have a total of 10 arrest cycles, arrests out of Texas, Arizona, and Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction out of Texas in 2009 for interfering with the duties of a public servant. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, yes. What are the bond recommendations, keeping in mind that Mr. Figueroa's signature bond has been revoked?
Yes, Your Honor. State's recommendation for Ms. Alt is a $3,000 surety bond. We're asking for no contact with the victim, Mr. Trevor Kane, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while on bond. And for facts of the case, the incident occurred on the 25th of May. Officers responded to 232 Boulevard Southeast in reference to criminal trespass inside Unit 4 and 5. Officers did contact Mr. Trevor Kane, who's the victim in this case. He's the owner of the units. He advised that his tenants and living in the other properties had also called him to inform that a man and a woman had entered the vacant units 5, and were possibly upstairs in Unit 6. He had informed officers that he'd previously had someone arrested at the same incident location. They were upstairs in Unit 6. And since that arrest, he had repairs done on both units to secure the property of all entrances. Officers approached the property and they recognized the defendants in this case. Once the officers actually approached them as they were exiting the units and asked them what they were doing there, and they advised they were trying to gather their things and leave the residence. So officers placed them both into custody and discovered that Mr. Figueroa, the arrest that was mentioned by pretrial on the 26th of April, was actually at this same incident location. He had been previously criminally trespassed on that. And they did a walkthrough through the units and noticed that the front window was broken. The latch was broken there in Unit 5. And in Unit 6, the upstairs window and window pane had been broken, as well as the latch. So for Ms. Alt, the state's recommendation, as I stated before, is a $3,000 surety bond. No contact with the victim, Trevor Kane. Stay away from the incident location. No alcohol, drugs, or firearms while out on bond. And for Mr. Figueroa, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond as well. Stay away from the incident location and no contact with Mr. Trevor Kane, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while on bond. And we understand that his bond will be revoked from April 28th. And we'll sound for Mr. Trevor Kane in case he's joined us in court today. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Trevor Kane, if you're present, this will be the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Ms. McLeod, anything on Ms. Alt?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 63 years old. She tells me that she's currently a student. She's working on her master's degree. So right now she is unemployed. She has no significant criminal history, Your Honor, so I'm asking for a signature bond for her. I believe that the state said that they recognized them, but I think the prosecutor meant to say they probably recognize Mr. Figueroa, because my client tells me that she's not been there before. She was under the impression that this was a friend of Mr. Figueroa's house, and she just went inside and was using the bathroom when the police showed up, and when they told her she had to leave, she was ready to leave, Your Honor. So based on that, I would just ask a signature bond for her.
Where does she go to school?
She did not tell me, Your Honor.
So is she currently enrolled?
That's what she tells me.
All right. Courtroom 2, please unmute. Which school do you go to, Ms. Alt?
Yes, ma'am. I'm returning back to NU with legal studies. I work for DFACS.
Which school do you go to?
NU is the one that I'm returning to. I'm
Which
returning
school?
NU out of Arizona. It's also NCU. It's a
NU.
Yes.
NU. What is the name of that school? Nevada University?
Yes, ma'am. It's an online school, and I attended legal studies there, and I'm going to be returning.
All right. And do you have current proof of enrollment?
No, ma'am, I do not. I do have my last grades that were there, but I used to work for DFACS and I'm working with children that were in foster care up in the Atlanta area.
And when do you plan to return to Nevada?
No, ma'am, I'm going to do it online. I'll be in Georgia, but do it online.
Okay, thank you. Haddad, what's your, unfortunately, your client's $2,000 signature bond in the underlying case is surrendered. Anything else to recommend on the current charges?
Your Honor, my client is 42 years of age, does construction work. I understand his prior charge, he's looking at a $2,000 bond. I would just ask the court to consider a $1,000 bond in this case, Judge.
All right, thank you. On the for Miss Alt, on each count is going to be 1,000. That's a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 2. She is to stay 200 yards away from the entire location at 232 Boulevard in Southeast Atlanta and stay away from every single unit, including the parking lot and the sidewalks and the gates, so forth. After today, she's to have no further contact with Mr. Miguel Figuro. She's to report to pretrial twice a month. This is a level 2. And within 60 days of being released, she will show proof of her enrollment at Nevada University, whether it's online or in person. But there must be proof that she has enrolled and paid for classes within Nevada University, if that is her allegation. And I would like to see her continue her classes. Otherwise, she risks the chance of losing her signature bond. Her next court date will be sent to her current mailing address, and she will need to update the court with her new mailing address or current mailing address, which cannot be 232 Boulevard. And she'll need to do that within 30 days of being released. Thank you. With regards to Mr. Figuro, on each count is going to be $500. This is going to be a total of a $1,500 surety bond. And Mr. Figuro, because of your new arrest involving the same location, your signature bond in your previous case is also surrendered. So your total bond in order to be released is $3,500 surety. Again, put your hand down. I'll let you have a chance to speak. I want you to pay attention. After today, you're to have no further contact with Melinda Alt, and you're to stay 500 yards away, not 200, 500 yards away from the entire location described as 232 Boulevard, every apartment unit there. If you return to that location, your bond will be surrendered and either remain in a no bond status or amended to a $3,500 cash bond only. Unmute courtroom 2. Mr. Figuro, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you in all your open cases. So if you waive your... Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Haddad.
Judge, if I may, I think Mr. Figuro is his complaint is that he was asked to he was allowed to return to that property. The issue that I had and I explained to him is from the court's perspective is that there was a prior criminal trespass on the prior case. So regardless whether he had the authority to be there or not, there's a court order that says otherwise.
Correct.
But having said that, I think he wants to discuss the facts. I told him this is just first appearance. And
did he identify the person who gave him the authority to return?
They never let me.
Who is the person who told you you could return?
The one that's been remodeling, redecorating.
I need the name of the person, first and last.
His name is Jay. I don't know his last name.
All right. When is Jay on the Zoom screen right now?
No, he's not here. He's a worker that I work with. He pays me under the table.
Jay a judge?
At the address.
Is Jay a judge in any court in state of Georgia?
No, he's
okay.
just.
Now keep this in mind, Mr. Figuro. The only person who can let you back at 232 Boulevard is a judge. It can be me, it can be another judge, but not Jay, because the judge would have to amend your court order requiring you to stay away. The fact that you decided to listen to some guy called Jay, that is your problem.
You didn't hear what I said.
I don't want to hear what you say because you already screwed up by going back to Boulevard and dragging Alt with you.
To retrieve my things that I had there.
No, no more visits. No more visits.
I wasn't there.
If you have items there, you can file a civil suit or you can contact Jay to bring your things to you. But you stay 500 yards away from that location.
Trespassed because the door was left open for me. So I can.
Do not return to 232 Boulevard at all.
I understand that completely.
Your bond is 3,500, surety bond. See you on June 10th. And Mr. Jordan, we will address both his cases on June 10th, including the current one. Thank you. Our next case, please.
Position 28, I'm sorry, position 22, Miss Santiago.
Okay. Cassandra Santiago is accused of battery family violence from May 24th. Appears that she has 2 counts of battery family violence. Case number is 25 CR 002949Y. Ms. Santiago, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, this is the first arrest.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's requesting a signature bond through pretrial, no contact with the victim in this case. His name is Ricardo Ryan. Stay away from the location at 3227 Verdant Drive. That's apartment number 1517, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Police responded to that location on May the 24th at about 4 in the afternoon, and they spoke to the defendant. First, she reported that she got home and her roommate / boyfriend that she lives with had an argument. And while they stood face to face, he did something like ash his cigarette, and that made her angry. So she pushed him and reports that her boyfriend, Mr. Ricardo Ryan, punched her. So she called the police. When police made contact with the victim, he was seen to have obvious injuries. He said that the defendant in front of you had come home from doing laundry. They argued about lighting in the location. When he walked past her, she grabbed him by his neck, leaving bruising on his neck that police officers saw and fingernail marks. She then bit him on his face. He was seen to have a laceration on his face, on his lip specifically, and she bit him on the wrist. He was able to push her off. His injuries were documented, and she was taken into custody, Your Honor. We haven't had any contact with Mr. Ricardo Ryan today. If you'd sound for him in case he got our messages. Thank you.
Ricardo Ryan, if you want to address the court, please unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Cook, on each count of the battery family violence, it's going to be $2,000. Her total bond is going to be $4,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Ricardo Ryan. To stay away from the 3227 Verdant Drive, Southwest location in Atlanta, the entire apartment complex. She's allowed a one-time visit with a police officer to retrieve her personal belongings. That visit must be with a police officer, and that visit cannot exceed 1 hour. Within 30 days of being released, she will come to the clerk's office and provide us with her new residential address where we can send her a summons for her next court date. She will also enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and attend and complete all 26 classes at her expense. She's not to miss or skip any classes. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and firearms. Next court date will be sent to her new address. Thank you.
Your Honor, her position is that he does not live there. So if the police officer could determine that he does not reside there, could she move back in?
On her one-time visit with an officer, if the officer confirms that he does not reside there and the leasing office confirms that he no longer resides there and is not on the lease, then she can return to the property.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
If he resides there, then she would need to file a dispossessory case against him.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is add-on 4. Ms. Carmichael.
All right. Position number 4 on the add-on calendar, we have Leia Carmichael accused of battery, family violence from May 25th of this year. And Ms. Carmichael, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was April 11th, 2018 out of Fulton County for disorderly conduct and possession of cocaine. That's their only arrest cycle. That case was DWAP, nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On October 25th, officers were dispatched to 252 Wellington Street Southwest in reference to a domestic dispute with a weapon. When officers arrived, they met with the caller, Antonio Gear, who met officers outside and advised them that he called due to his girlfriend holding a knife in her hands. Miss Carmichael, the defendant, he stated had been living with him for 5 months, and she became irate due to him showing more attention to another female. He stated that the defendant jumped onto him and used both hands to scratch him in the neck as well as stomach, and causing visible harm. The officer saw bleeding. Officers met with the defendant who came from the rear of the house. She didn't have anything in her hands at the time, and they did ask her questions about the incident, and she did confirm that a physical altercation took place, but she refuted scratching the victim here. We did speak to the victim. He stated that he and the defendant are in a relationship. They live together at the incident location. They do not share any children. He stated that the defendant was acting in a manic state and he doesn't know why. He doesn't know if she suffers from any mental health issues, but he was trying to restrain her, and that's when she scratched him. He stated that he only wanted police to de-escalate the situation. He's never seen the defendant act this way, and he's not in fear of her and wishes to continue contact. I believe he's joined us here in court today. As such, the state's recommendation here is a $1,000 surety bond. We're not opposed to a signature bond if pretrial recommends it or if the court deems it fit. We're asking for no further violent contact with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while out on bond. As far as the stay away, we understand that they live together. We're asking for a stay away to enforce a cooling off period. And we'd like to sound for the victim at this time. That'll be all for the state.
Antonio Greer, if you want to address the court, please unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Cook, until Mr. Gear comes on, for the one count of battery family violence, it's going to be $2,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services level 1. She is to have no further violent contact with Antonia Gear. She may return to the Wellington Street location unless she wants to change address. Then within 30 days, she must update the court with her new mailing address. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. She will be subject to random screens by pretrial. Within 30 days, she's also to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and complete all 26 classes at her expense without missing or skipping any classes. Thank you.
That was I did talk to Mr. Gear, and he said it would be on the.
He is on Zoom, but he's not unmuting or starting his video.
Well, it's been a long day. So we have no objection to the court's decision.
I'm not sure what your day has been, Mr. Cook, but it's a public holiday and we are working. So.
Well, no, it's been 5:30 this morning, but that's other issues. So.
All right. All right, Mr. Gear, I see that you've come on. Would you like to contribute to the proceedings? No, we have no audio from you. Something wrong with your audio or your... No audio. Okay,
We will take what's given, Your Honor. No further.
understood. Okay, Mr. Gear, you're free to go. Deputy Milton, who do we have?
Add-on number 2.
Number
Miss
2.
Bailey.
Is this Miss Bailey?
Yes.
Okay. This is add-on calendar, position number 2. Chazny Bailey is accused of hit and run, failure of the driver to return to the scene of the accident, failure to exercise due care, and driving while license suspended or revoked from August 7th, 2023. Ms. Bailey's accusation is 25 CR 2977J. Ms. Bailey, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. This is August. Okay, so it's under 2 years, so the case can proceed. All right, Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 7th, 2023. Officers responded to an auto collision where the defendant was operating a 2008 Honda Civic, traveling northbound on Atlanta Street, passing the intersection of Jones Drive, when the car rear-ended a black Dodge Journey driven by Valencia Sebastian. The Honda Civic then did a U-turn maneuver and traveled away from the collision scene southbound on Atlanta Street, and was ultimately found abandoned on the private property of 9040, which is a parking deck on Roswell Road. The Civic was found with a disabled front end damage. Officers contacted the defendant, Chazny Bailey, through an investigator, and she confirmed that she was in control of the car and operating the Honda Civic when the collision occurred. She informed officers that she had current warrants for her arrest after missing court for traffic violations in the city of Sandy Springs, and officers confirmed that through GCIC as well. They did also note that her driver's license had been suspended since November 11th of 2022. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. We're asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while the defendant is out on bond. We'd like for her to complete a defensive driving class, and we'd like to sound for the victim, Miss Sebastian, in the event that she's joined us here on court, and that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Valencia Sebastian, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute. All right. Mr. Cook, do you know if there are any other outstanding warrants right now? I didn't see.
I do not know of any.
All right. I don't see any warrants.
This happened 2 years ago. Which I don't understand doesn't change the charge. My client is 31, lived in the Atlanta area for 5 years. She's a certified nurse assistant and is going for her degree in a license of practical nurse. Beyond that, I don't have any explanation for the suspended license, and I'm not sure about the details of the hit and run.
Okay. On count 1, it's going to be 1,000. On count 2 is 500, and count 3 is 1,000. The bond is a 2,500 surety. No further driving unless she has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. The next court date is June 10th. Thank you.
2,500 total surety.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is position 1, Mr. Bell.
And unfortunately, Mr. Cook, Ms. Bailey does not qualify for a signature bond based on the statement that she's got bench warrants in Sandy Springs.
No, understand. Thank you.
Courtroom 2, was it? And that's
position 1, Mr. Bell.
Okay, thank you. All right, on the main SAC calendar, this is Robert Bell, accused of one count of battery against a female who is pregnant and battery family violence from May 24th, 2025, case number 25 CR 2972Y. Mr. Bell, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was May 10th, 2024, out of Clayton County for an FTA. They have a total of 45 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Florida, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. There's a 2023 misdemeanor conviction for criminal mischief, 2024 DUI, 2020 battery, a 2016 felony conviction for theft by shoplifting. There appears to be an open case out of Clayton County for aggravated assault, theft by taking and possession of a firearm.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on the 24th of May. Officers received a call from Miss Nyquisha Porch, who had stated that she was punched 3 times in her right eye while inside the vehicle with the defendant. When officers arrived on the scene, they observed Miss Porch's right eye, which was swollen and bruised. She did inform officers that she was currently 7 months pregnant by the defendant. And she advised officers that they had been hanging out since the day before. And then they got into an argument, which led to the defendant becoming very frustrated and aggressive towards her. While they were both inside the vehicle, as they were traveling, the defendant reached over and struck her 3 times towards her right eye. We did speak to the victim today. She did state that her and the defendant are in a relationship. She is currently pregnant with his child. She does not want to pursue the charges, and she would like to continue contact. The state's recommendation in light of the defendant's prior criminal history is a $2,000 surety bond. We're asking for no further violent contact with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And I will sound from Ms. Porch in the event that she's joined us in court here today, and that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Porch, if you'd like to unmute and start your video, this will be the time to do so. Mr. Cook?
I know she was online at one point, but that's okay. We would ask for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. My understanding, they don't live together. So stay away is neither here nor there. Beyond that, he denies the allegations in the warrant.
Okay. Nyquisha Porch is on the Zoom, but she's not responding. All right, on the count 1, that's going to be a $2,500 surety bond. On count 2, that's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. His total bond is going to be, his total bond is going to be $4,500 split bond. No further contact with Nyquisha Porch, to stay 200 yards away from her and not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner, including in person, mail, email, phones, social media, and any other electronic device. If he plans to have any joint custody or visitation with the child or children that he shares with Ms. Porch, he must file a legitimation action and obtain a court order for visitation, custody, and child support.
Yes.
The court date is going to be June 10.
Thank you.
Add-on number 8, Ms. King.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cook, what was
Add-on 8?
My question was to Officer Milton, who is this?
Ms. King on the add-on number 8.
Okay.
This is Charerelle King. I'm sorry, courtroom 2. Did Mr. Bell have a question? Mr. Bell, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Courtroom 2? Yes, sir. If you waive your right to remain silent, please keep in mind that caveat.
All right. Can I speak now?
It's entirely up to you.
Okay, they said that I had, I know I have a probation situation in Clayton County. That other charge was probably from like 7 years ago, from my understanding, because I went to court for it. It was supposed to be dismissed, and they keep on bringing up this allegation.
Who's
And
your attorney in Clayton County?
I know my judge is Judge
I
Hayward.
don't want to know the judge. Judge is going to help you out. I need to know who's your defense attorney. All right.
Judge Lloyd, Mrs. Lloyd or something like that, Lloyd.
Sir, I can't contact the judge. I want to know who's the defense attorney. So your attorney can contact the other attorney and find out what's the status of your Clayton County case.
Yeah, her name is Mrs. Lloyd, I think. Mrs. Lloyd.
All right.
Excuse me, Your Honor, what was there was a $2,000 SOB through the jail and a $2,500
Surety bond.
surety bond. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Mr. Cook, if you can contact Clayton County and find out the status of his FTA or his ag assault case, he claims it was dismissed or resolved. So,
okay, well, contacting Clayton County is like finding the new world, but I'll try.
okay. Good luck, Mr. Bell. We will, between now and June 10th, if you remember your defense attorney's name, please contact Mr. Cook.
Thank you.
Okay, add on, this is position number 8. We have Charerelle King at ACDC, and she's got 3 misdemeanor offenses stemming from September 2nd, 2023. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and criminal trespass. Ms. King, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Audi?
The last arrest was July 3rd, 2021 out of Fairburn for aggravated assault and robbery. It appears that case, that they received probation for that. Case number is 21 SC 178864. They have 1 arrest cycle out of Georgia, and then there appears to be a hold out of Valdosta for a larceny case. And the date of that is June 22nd, 2023. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asked for a $500 surety bond for the marijuana, $1,000 surety for the obstruction, $1,000 surety for the criminal trespass. This took place September 2nd, 2023. Officer observed a hand-to-hand drug transaction on the side of the Sunoco service station located at 52 Northwest Broad Street. The officer knew that she had a criminal trespass from this location previously, and the officer then made contact with the defendant, who threw her book bag down and took off running after being told that she was free to leave. You've heard the criminal history as well as the warrant out of Valdosta. States is going to ask for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, given the nature of the charge, and we understand there's an obstruction, we would ask for a signature bond through pretrial, whatever level the court deems appropriate.
All right, thank you. On the misdemeanor possession of marijuana, that's going to be $500. The willful obstruction is $500, and the criminal trespass is $500. This is a $1,500 signature bond through the jail with a release to Valdosta only. They'll need to come and pick her up for her open case. And her next court date is going to be June 10th, pending a pickup from Valdosta PD. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and stay away from the location on Broad Street. Is it the Circle K gas station?
I think it's Sunoco.
Okay.
Sunoco service station.
Sunoco service gas station. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is position 4, Mr. Hernandez.
Who represents Mr. Hernandez? Mr. Haddad or Mr.
I do, Judge. I do.
Is there a language barrier, Mr. Haddad?
No, Judge.
This is Miguel Hernandez, 25 CR 2955C, accused of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, tampering with evidence and criminal trespass. Alleged incident date is May 21st of this year. And Mr. Hernandez, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. And in case I didn't mention, the accusation is 25 CR 2955C. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was December 20th, 2024, out of Fulton County for shoplifting, obstruction, possession and use of drug-related objects, false information to law enforcement. They have a total of 13 arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and New Jersey. Felony conviction in 2017 out of New Jersey for burglary. 2018, possession of Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance. There's 4 open probation cases in Fulton County. The first one is 24 CR 000-656C, and that's for obstruction, false name, address, date of birth to law enforcement, possession and use of drug-related objects. The next one is 24 CR 008244C, theft by shoplifting and obstruction. 24 CR 008276C, theft by shoplifting and obstruction, and 24 CR 008277C, obstruction and loitering. There also appears to be a holdout of Cherry Hill, New Jersey for a probation violation, and the date of that is May 5th, 2021. Nothing further.
Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to ask for a $1,500 surety bond for the obstruction, $2,000 surety for the tampering with evidence, and $1,000 surety for the criminal trespass. On May 21st, 2025, officers responded to the area of 881 Roswell Creek Lane in reference to a foot pursuit stemming from a suspicious circumstance call. And dispatch informed responding officers that one of the parties involved had possibly threatened an employee of Roswell Creek with a handgun prior to fleeing. Now, it was reported that the male was in possession of a black bag, and officers began to conduct foot patrol to locate the individuals. The officer saw the defendant and a female fleeing on foot from Officer Lanier towards his location, and the defendant had a black bag, and both individuals refused to obey lawful commands to stop running. The defendant was arrested and was uncooperative, and the female informed officers that the defendant swallowed a gram of fentanyl. The defendant was later determined not to be the act assault suspect. You've heard the criminal history, including the history out of New Jersey. The state is going to ask for no further contact with the co-defendant, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Judge, my client is 38 years of age. He is a cook by trade. I would not that it would really make a difference, Judge, I don't think, but I would ask for a total bond of 1,000 on all 3 charges, so a total of 1,000.
All right. He was just released from Fulton County Jail in January.
I believe he entered a plea, Judge.
Okay. Oh. Okay. And he's got a open felony case still pending?
I think he was in front of a Superior Court judge this afternoon or this morning, Judge. I'm not aware of what type of bond he got.
25 PI 004139. 2 counts of financial transaction, card fraud, burglary in the first degree, and entering an automobile. Okay, with regards to these new charges in state court, each count is going to be 1,000. That's going to be a $3,000 surety bond. Next court date is June 10th. And to stay away from the incident location, no illegal drugs, alcohol, and weapons. Thank you.
Yeah. Next is position 9, Mr. Matthews.
Tammy Juan Matthews is accused of simple battery, family violence, battery family violence, battery against a female who's pregnant, and criminal trespass. These 4 misdemeanor offenses allegedly occurred on May 24th of this year. Accusation 25 CR 2961E. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was May 3rd, 2023, out of Fulton County for aggravated assault. They have a total of 9 arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. There's a felony conviction. It appears that they're on first offender felony probation for aggravated assault case. That number is 23 SC 188194. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is very concerned for the safety of the victim in this case. The state is going to ask for a $2,000 surety for the simple battery, $2,500 surety for the battery family violence, the $2,500 surety for the battery against a pregnant person, and $1,000 surety for the criminal trespass. On May 25th, 2025, officers arrived at 407 Sunset Avenue in regard to a verbal disturbance, and upon arrival, they met with the victim, Miss Maria Munoz, last name Munoz, who stated that when her husband left for work, she barricaded her room door with heavy bags so that when he returned, he could not get in the door easily. She stated that they were involved in a verbal dispute early in the evening of May 24th, 2025, in which she called the police and spoke with Officer Kurt. She advised that the defendant was currently on probation for domestic violence, and she stated that he returned back to the residence after getting off work and entered the room in which she attempted to barricade with bags. And she stated that they began arguing while she had their 9-month-old child in her hands, and he snatched the baby from her. He then slapped her across the face, and the officer observed that she had a welt mark on her right cheek with 2 small bleeding lacerations. And after Miss Maria was slapped, she grabbed the baby back from him. The defendant then kicked her outside while she had the baby in her hands. He came back outside shortly after to grab the baby and then went back inside and left Miss Maria outside. Officers observed Miss Maria and the defendant in a verbal dispute. They asked the defendant to step away from the victim, and he was subsequently placed into custody. The defendant here has criminal history out of Tennessee as well, a 2015 domestic assault, some Alabama traffic offenses, but it's important to note here this defendant was arrested in 2023 for ag assault and battery family violence against the same defendant. Again, this was sealed on first offender. The sentence here was served a total of 3 years with the first 6 months to be served in confinement and the remainder to serve on probation. The state is going to ask for no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
I think you meant the same victim.
Yes, that's what I meant, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Haddad, I'm sorry, before we begin, is there a Maria Munoz on Zoom if you want to contribute? This is the time to unmute and start your video. All right. Mr. Haddad?
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Matthews, he's 44 years of age. He does run 2 different laundromats. One of the things I discussed with him is the possibility that the court may impose a stay away, and I think under the circumstances, I do believe it's appropriate. He will have a place to stay, Judge. He actually can stay at his business. He does not have to return to the home. I would just ask a 1 trip back with the assistance of law enforcement. If the court is not inclined on a signature bond through pretrial services, Judge, I would ask a much lower bond, in the amount of $500 per charge, Judge.
Understood. On count 1, the simple battery is 1,000. The battery family violence is 2,000. The battery against a female who's pregnant is 3,000, and the criminal trespass is 1,000. This is going to be a $7,000 cash bond only. He's to have no further contact with Maria Munoz. He's to stay 200 yards away from the marital home. And he's not to consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. He must update the court with his new mailing address within 30 days of being released. In the first 12 months upon his release, he will be equipped with an ankle monitor, and monitoring fees shall be paid by Mr. Matthews. He is not allowed a one-time visit to the marital home. Miss Maria Munoz can designate a third party who can take his belongings to him once he identifies his mailing address to that third party. Otherwise, he's not to communicate with Miss Munoz either in person, through a third party, mail, email, phone, or even on social media. He's also to have no further contact with the children that he shares with Miss Munoz. If he wishes any contact, He can file a divorce case or a legal separation case and get a third-party transfer if permitted. Thank you. And please unmute courtroom 2. Mr. Matthews, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. Considering that you have an open probation case, I highly recommend you exercise your right to remain silent, but it's up to you if you want to waive it and say anything.
Mr. Matthews, I'd suggest you remain silent at this stage. We'll talk to you and see what options we have, okay?
His next court date is June 10th.
Next is position 17, Mr. Rainey.
Here's law.
Yes, Mr. Jordan?
What was the ankle monitor requirement on that one, that previous case?
12 months upon release, he needs to be equipped with an ankle monitor and monitoring fees to be paid by the defendant.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah. I'm sorry, Deputy, what position number was that again?
Position number 17.
17, thank you. Who represents Mr. Rainey?
That'll be me, Judge.
Mr. Haddad, what's your client's first name?
That's all I have is L, Judge.
Okay. This is a defendant identified as first letter L, that's the first name, last name Rainey, R-A-N-E-Y, accused of criminal trespass from May 25th, 2025. Case number is 25 CR 002964G. Mr. Rainey, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was September 15th, 2024, out of Atlanta for simple battery and pointing or aiming a gun or pistol at another. It appears that they're on probation for that case under 24 CR 006486F. There's a total of 42 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Virginia, California, and Nevada. There's a 2020 felony conviction for vandalism. Also in 2020 battery, 2017 receiving stolen property. There appears to be a holdout of Marietta for a probation violation, and the date of that is December 13th, 2024. Nothing further.
Miss, I'm sorry, who's prosecuting? Miss Allen, or is it? Who's prosecuting? Please, Miss Dunda?
I'm sorry. What position was this? I'm so sorry.
17. First name is the letter L, last name Rainey.
Yes, I believe this is my case. 1 second, scrolling down. Yes, criminal trespass. This incident location is 90 Central Avenue, Southwest in Atlanta. Officers responded to a dispute involving a weapon. They spoke to the caller, who appeared distraught and shaken up. Officers had asked her what happened. Apparently, she was driving for a city tour company, and while she was driving her customers around Atlanta, the defendant walked up to the window and hit it with a large metal, it says cleaver. The window cracked and the glass was falling out of it. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, defer to the court regarding the amount. We're going to ask to, I guess, stay away from wherever, I guess, this address, the 90 Central Avenue Southwest. No further contact with, it looks like a Miss McCurley. I'll get the first name in a second. Sorry about that. I thought I had it here.
McCully.
McCully, yeah. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons are on bond.
All right, Mr. Haddad, I'm going to set a $1,000 surety bond. I'm not comfortable with the signature bond given his probation hold and his multiple arrest cycles and the allegations of the warrant.
I understand, Judge. The only request I had is for a signature bond only to be released to Cobb County so he can take care of that charge, Judge.
Understood. Bond is set at $1,000. It is a surety bond. Next court date is June 10th. He's to have no contact with Alexis McCully. He's to stay 50 yards away from any property belonging to the Hop and Go Tours Company. And his next court date is June 10th. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. If he does make bond, he's to be released to Cobb County.
Next up, positions 19 and 20, Mr. Rogers.
Anthony Rogers is case 25 CR 2963B, accused of battery, family violence, and cruelty in the third degree from a March 24th, 2025 incident. His accusation number is 25 CR 2963B. Mr. Rogers, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any prize, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was July 9th, 2021 out of DeKalb for battery family violence. There's a total of 9 arrest cycles in Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction in 2016 for theft by taking. Also in 2016, felony conviction for entering auto and burglary. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Dunlop?
It looks like it's the same victim in both cases, Your Honor. Same location too, 3223 Greenboro Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. Victim Rakita and Terry, Rickita, and Terry traditional spelling. First incident date, March 24th, 2025. Officer responded to a 911 call by the victim. She reported being assaulted by the defendant, who was her child's father. He got mad at her because she was questioning him about why he was taking so long to get their food. He was supposed to come back and pack his stuff and leave. I guess she tried to give him his speaker and slide it across the floor and leave it at the door. Because it tipped over, he exited the room, kicked her in the leg, causing her to fall, resulting in bruises and abrasions to her leg. She said that in this incident, she was 33 weeks pregnant or 8 months. Assault happened in front of the minor KR. I'm not sure if that's his child, but it looks like it is her child. So that was where the cruelty came in at. Second incident date was May 24, 2025. Officers responded to a domestic dispute. They spoke with the victim, who stated her boyfriend, again, the defendant, choked her and attacked her. Started with a verbal dispute, escalated to a physical altercation. He grabbed her by the neck, knocked her down to the floor. She had red marks on the side of her neck. Our office did have a chance to speak with the victim. She said they're in a relationship. They live together into the location. They share 2 children. Okay, so the minor is his child as well. She confirmed the events in both warrants, and she stated that the minor child, KR, was in his room during the first incident. She confirmed the defendant did place his hand around her neck on the May incident. She stated the defendant had his hand around her neck for around 5 to 10 seconds. She rated his grip a 2. She stated she was able to breathe and did not feel like she was going to lose consciousness. She stated she doesn't want to press charges. She stated she's not in fear of the defendant and wants to continue contact. She will be on Zoom. We can sound for her when appropriate. On the first, the battery and the cruelty to children, we're asking for a $5,000 surety, $4K on the battery, $1K on the cruelty. I'm going to ask for a no further contact with this victim. I'm going to ask for a stay away from this address. And 2 days anger awareness. On the second battery, the state is asking for a $5,000 on that battery, seeing that we're back again with the same victim. Allegedly more violence, same conditions, no further contact, stay away, and anger management course, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond. And we can sound for Miss, I believe it's Terry when appropriate. Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Haddad, I do apologize. I forgot to mention position 19 is also the same defendant. Accusation number 25 CR 2962B, accused of battery, family violence from May 24th. So those were the 2 cases that Ms. Dunlop was referencing.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
All right, and yes, sir, what's your recommendation?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. I thought we were waiting on the alleged victim.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, Miss Rakita Terry. Rakita Terry.
Yes.
All right. Miss Terry, if you please raise your right hand if you want to say anything. Otherwise, okay. Do you solemnly?
Oh, no, I don't want to say anything, no.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Go ahead and mute your screen then, please. Thank you.
Judge, on behalf of my client, he's 28 years of age, Judge. He works as a delivery driver for Kroger for the last 2 years. He is from the Atlanta area, does have family here that he can stay with if, of course, the court imposes a stay away. Judge, I would just ask, I mean, Mr. Rogers is still indigent. I still ask the court to consider a much lower bond, if not pretrial, than surety bond, Judge.
Okay. On position number 19, for the recent incident, that's going to be a $3,500 surety bond. For position number 20, on count 1, that's going to be $2,500 count 2 is going to be 1,000, and that's a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. In both cases, he's to have no contact with Rakita Terry and no contact with any child or children that he shares with Ms. Terry. He can file a legitimation case and obtain a parenting plan and a court order for joint visitation and custody with any child or children that he shares with Ms. Terry. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. Within 30 days of being released on bond, he will enroll in a qualified domestic violence intervention program and attend and complete all 26 classes at his expense. No contact with Ms. Terry means staying 200 yards away from her, and do not contact her in person, mail, email, phone, social media, or even through a third party. Thank you. Both cases will be reset to June 10th. Subject to his release on bond.
Next is position 23, Mr. Scott.
Okay. Michael Scott is accused of battery, family violence, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass, interference with possession from May 23rd of this year under accusation 25 CR 2948C. Mr. Scott, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was March 22nd, 2012, out of DeKalb for armed robbery and possession of a firearm. They have 12 adult cycles in Georgia. There's a burglary conviction from 2009, a 2008 battery. It appears that they're on probation for burglary and theft by receiving. And that number is 11 SC 1018800. Nothing further to report.
Do you know when that probation ends?
It's a 20-year sentence.
Okay, thank
So
you.
from 2011. Your Honor, this is an incident that occurred at 2451 Old National Parkway in room 126. That is a hotel at the location. On May the 23rd at about 7:20 p.m., police were called to the scene by staff who reported that there was a male staying at the location in room 316 who was seen following and chasing a victim in the lobby with a gun in his possession, grabbing her and causing a disruption. On scene, staff led officers to room 316. As officers approached, they could hear fighting and screaming from inside room 316. They could specifically hear a female voice yelling, "Leave me alone," multiple times. The victim in this case is Portia Weems. Hotel staff that reported that this is an ongoing problem, violence and continuing issues of fighting and loud disruptive behavior out of that room. Officers knocked and the door opened. Inside, they observed the defendant in front of you and Mrs. Weems in close proximity to each other. Mrs. Weems was observed to be bleeding profusely from a laceration to her head. The parties were told to step outside, and they both tried to tell police this wasn't a serious issue. Grady EMS responded to try to tend to the injury that was obvious to Mrs. Weems, and both parties were detained while officers gathered some information. The defendant, I think, notable, he claimed that the severe laceration to Mrs. Weems's head was the result of falling on some hangers on the floor while they were arguing. Officers reviewed camera footage from the library. It shows the defendant chasing Mrs. Weems, arguing with her in an aggressive way. She's actively trying to walk away from him and de-escalate. He's grabbing her. And the victim reported to police that this started in the room, and he took her phone from her to look through it based on allegations of infidelity. While on scene, the defendant continued to scream and yell out the patrol car where he was handcuffed after being arrested at the victim on scene. He was seen to have warrants out of DeKalb for burglary, I believe a probation violation, but also that probation violation here in Fulton from that 2011 case. We have not had a chance to get Ms. Weems on the phone yet today, Your Honor. We'll continue those efforts. We're asking for a $5,000 surety to stay away from that location there, the hotel at 2451 Old National Parkway. No contact with Mrs. Weems and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
And does the video show Mr. Scott allegedly with a firearm?
No, it's not clear whether he had a firearm. That's just what the people reporting the incident, the staff there, were concerned that he did have a firearm when he was chasing this woman in the lobby and grabbing her.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Portia Weems, if you're on Zoom, this is your opportunity to address the court. Otherwise, we're moving on. You will need to unmute and start your video. Mr. Haddad?
Judge, while there's a dispute as far as what transpired, I would note that my client was never charged with a firearm. No firearm was recovered. I would ask the court to consider a lower bond. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't believe it's going to make a difference because he does have a hold from Fulton County on that probation violation that I confirmed, Judge. I would just ask the court to put a $1,500 surety bond on this case, Judge.
All right. On the battery family violence, it's a $3,000 surety. The disorderly conduct is $500, and the criminal trespass is a $1,000. The total bond is going to be $4,500. It's a surety bond. No further contact with Portia Weems, to stay 200 yards away from the hotel or motel at 2451 Old National Highway in College Park. He's not allowed a one-time visit to that location, not allowed. Pending his release on bond, he will either be picked up by DeKalb County or he currently has a Fulton County probation hold as well. In either event, his next court date with us is June 10th. Within 30 days of being released, he must update the court with his new residential address in writing with the clerk's office. Thank you.
Next is position 27, Mr. Ward.
Jaylen Ward is accused of battery, family violence, criminal trespass causing damage to property, and simple battery, family violence from May 24th of this year. His accusation number is 25 CR 2956J. Mr. Ward, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Ms. Hardy, any priors?
The last arrest was June 29th, 2022, out of Anderson County, South Carolina, for unlawful carrying of a pistol, and that is their only arrest cycle. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from the 24th of May. Police were called to 814 Roswell Creek Lane. This is Jaylen Ward, correct?
Correct.
Apartment M specifically at about 7:45 a.m. There they met with the victim. Her name is Jakira Doty, D-O-T-Y. Jakira is J-A-K-Y-R-A. She reported that she came home to the location where she lives with this young man and they're in a relationship. She went into the bedroom where she discovered him in bed with someone who was visiting their home, the girlfriend of a cousin. She woke up the defendant, and in response, he tackled her to the floor and then bit her. She had a visible bite mark on her arm. When police approached to the call of this dispute, they could hear yelling coming from inside the residence. There was a visibly broken exterior door. When police knocked on the door, the victim opened it and the defendant was behind the door trying to close it. The victim came outside to speak with officers. And at that point, the defendant, while saying he was going to come outside, started closing the door. Officers gave him instructions to come outside. He did not do that. He refused to do so. And so officers made entry and spoke to the defendant. He was in possession of a large wooden pole that they removed from him. He was described as agitated and actually punched holes in the wall as he sat there speaking to police about what had happened. He did report that there were prior incidences in the past. And he reported that he swung on the victim multiple times when she woke him up. He made those admissions. The victim also reported that when she tried to get away from the defendant after calling the police, she was unable to, and that's evidenced by the way the door was answered when police got on scene. The other individual in the house, Mrs. Davis, did report that she saw an altercation, but didn't go into much detail, Your Honor. We did speak to Mrs. Doty, D-O-T-Y, today. She said that she and the defendant are in a relationship and live together, that they share no children. She said that she has gone to stay with her mother since this incident occurred on the 24th, so Saturday. But she'll be going home and nothing like this has ever happened. It is of note that she did report to police that there'd been prior incidences in the past, and the defendant did as well. She's saying she's not afraid and she wants the defendant to return home. Your Honor, the state is asking for a $5,000 surety to stay away from the location and have no contact with Miss Doty. Not only did he bite her, but he punched her, he threw her to the ground. There's a allegation that this involves infidelity, but also the inability to get away from the defendant. And so while we respect Mrs. Doty's wishes and want you to call for her so she can inform the court of her feelings, it's the state's position that there should be no contact here, that there's a safety concern. Thank you.
Jakira Doty, if you want to add to these proceedings, this is the time to unmute and start your video. Mr. Haddad, yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, on behalf of Mr. Ward, he is 22 years of age. He was working delivery essentially for DoorDash and Fetch until his car got damaged recently. He is in light of his lack of significant, well, any convictions, Judge. I think he's a good candidate to be released through pretrial services. I'll leave it up to the court as far as a stay away or not. He is from the Atlanta area, Judge. He does have family here that he can stay with. I would just ask, considering that he's indigent, Judge, that he'd be released through pretrial services, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry, it wouldn't let me unmute it.
All right, Miss Doty, did you have something to add?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, you stop walking around, then you
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm at work. I'm sorry. I tried.
the right hand. At the right hand? Is that the right hand?
Yes.
Okay, it must just be inverted. Okay. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. Who is Nasira?
Nasira is Jaylen's cousin girlfriend.
Oh, girlfriend.
Yes.
And what are you to Mr. Jaylen?
I'm his girlfriend.
Oh, lucky guy. Two of them. Okay. And are you comfortable with him being in the same apartment with you?
Yeah, he's fine. He's not a violent person. It's been a lot going on and it's been happening back to back. He's been stressed out a lot. He got into it with his cousin and he left and he actually broke the door. The police said that the door was broken. That was him. He broke the door leaving.
I'm sorry, who broke the door?
DeAndre. I think his name is DeAndre Hardy.
Okay. And who put holes in the walls? Did she leave? Okay. Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, I've already.
Oh, you did. Yes. Let me finish then. Okay.
I can repeat it.
No, I got it. On the back family.
Went out.
Yes, Ms. Doty. So who put holes in the wall?
Oh, I didn't know. I was outside. I didn't even know he punched the wall until.
Who is he?
I was told that Jaylen Ward punched the wall, but I didn't see him do it, so I didn't know it was holes. I left the home the same day.
Are you on the lease?
Yes, ma'am. But he's the main shareholder of the lease.
Well, he has other problems to deal with besides the lease. So, but thank you so much. You're free to mute your screen. On battery family violence, it's going to be a $1,500 surety bond. On the criminal trespass causing damage to property is $3,000, and the simple battery is going to be $2,000. His total bond is going to be $6,500 split bond. The criminal trespass $3,000 and the simple battery $2,000 is going to be a signature bond through pretrial services level 3. He will report to pretrial services once a week. He will show his written efforts to get a job. Unless he's already employed, then he doesn't have to, but he'll need to show written efforts to get a job to pretrial every week. He is to also enroll in a domestic violence intervention program, and he will do so within 30 days of being released on bond. He will complete all 26 classes at his expense without missing or skipping any classes. No further contact with Jakiria Doty, to stay away from 814 Roswell Creek Lane in Rossville, Georgia. And if the landlord seeks to have any damages from the alleged damages, Miss Doty can file a civil claim against Mr. Ward for his share of the damages caused at the apartment. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Thank you. Oh, next.
Judge, can I? Oh, I'm sorry.
Court date is June 10th. All right. Who was speaking just now?
No, I was Doty.
All right, please put on your video.
I wanted to say one more thing. It was written in the report that he punched me. He didn't punch me. He was restraining me from hitting him. And he.
I understand the situation, Miss Doty, but he still has a lot of fires to put out. So let that be his problem. You just make sure that he stays away from you and the apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
If he has any personal belongings, pack them up and you can send it to wherever he's moved to.
Okay.
Maybe Nasira will take it for him. Thank you. You're free to go. All right, next case.
Next is position 21, Mr. Rucker.
Charles Rucker is accused of theft by shoplifting from May 25th, 2025. Accusation number is 25 CR 294780. Mr. Rucker, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. I'm sorry.
It's me on.
Ms. McLeod, I beg your pardon. Ms. McLeod. And Ms. Hardy, any priors?
The last arrest was January 9th, 2025 out of East Point for theft by shoplifting. There's 28 adult arrest cycles in Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction in 2022 for theft by shoplifting. 2025 criminal trespass. There's a 2024 possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 2017 battery. And there appears to be an open probation case for possession of a firearm. That number is 23 SC 187671. Nothing further.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from May the 25th at the Walmart that's located at 844 Cleveland Avenue Southwest. At about 11:40 in the morning, the defendant was seen by loss prevention and staff taking multiple grocery items and then trying to leave without paying for them. When he was with officers, they saw that he had multiple warrants out of DeKalb. I would note that the eight cases from 2023 until now have been dead docketed for an IST decision. We're asking for a $500 surety to stay away from 844 Cleveland Avenue, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we'd ask that he be placed on the competency calendar if that's appropriate.
Mr. Haddad?
It's me, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod. I do apologize. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
It's been a long day, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Rucker, I am quite familiar with Mr. Rucker. I have represented him before. In August of last year, Your Honor, there was an MH evaluation done, and Mr. Rucker was found not competent to stand trial, and that has been the issue. He has some severe challenges. He's not able to work or anything like that, which he was probably looking for something to eat. It's just, the reality of his life, Your Honor. He has those challenges. So I don't know what the court is supposed to do with this. I would ask the signature bond for him because he's just sort of been passed around in the system. The state says he has warrants out of DeKalb. I'm not sure what they intend to do with him. My client needs help. He has MH issues and he just needs help, Your Honor. I don't know what else to say, but that's just the reality.
I've noticed he lives in Mount Zion Road. Do you know of any relatives that he has? Friends, kin?
No, Your Honor. At the last time, I was unable to contact anyone concerning him.
It's going to be a 500 surety bond. He's got a probation hold with Fulton County, which we'll need to deal with. I'm going to reset him to June 10th. June. Mr. Jordan, do I have a MH calendar?
June 12th. June 12th.
June 5th?
12th? 1-2? What do you want him on? So there's a June the 5th and June the 12th.
June the 5th.
Okay.
He's been with the MH calendar before, so I'm not. All right, it's a $500 surety. Stay away from 844 Cleveland Avenue. And unfortunately, he's got a probation hold in Fulton County and the DeKalb hold. So either way, I just don't want to dump him in DeKalb County just because he's got a hold there.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll see him on June 5th. Thank you at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. McLeod. Enjoy the rest of what remains of our public holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
All right, for the courtroom 2, who do we have?
Add-on 7, Mr. Freeman.
This is Montreal Freeman accused of misdemeanor possession of marijuana and driving while license suspended or revoked from May 24th of this year. Accusation 25 CR 2976D. Mr. Freeman, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor. The last arrest.
Your Honor, this is not, I don't believe this is
That's
my
not case,
client.
Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
Thank you.
Haddad. All right, got it. Mr.
Thank
Haddad
you.
is your counsel. All right, Ms. Hardy, pardon us. What's his priors?
Okay, the last arrest was November 14th, 2024, out of East Point for battery and theft by taking. And that case is open under 24 CR 007658D. They have 18 total arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Louisiana, and Wisconsin. There's felony conviction in 2013, harboring and aiding a felon. 2010 battery. There appears to be a hold out of Jefferson, Wisconsin for possession of cocaine. The date of that is December 11th, 2023. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, could you give me just 1 second? I completely deleted this page. Give me just 1 second. I'm so sorry. Here we are. Okay. Okay, yes. This incident occurred on May 24th, 2025. Officers initiated a traffic stop at 3100 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia for a window tint violation. And while speaking to the defendant, They found out that he had a suspended license and placed him under arrest. While conducting a search incident to arrest, they found a small bag with a leafy green substance believed to be marijuana. They did find that the defendant had an active warrant out of Wisconsin for possession, but there was no extradition. In light of the defendant's criminal record, the state's recommendation is $1,000 surety, and that's $500 on each count. No alcohol, weapons, or drugs while out on bond. That'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Judge, considering the nature of the charges, I would ask the court to release him through the jail, signature bond through the jail. He's 32 years of age, is an electrician by trade, Judge. He does have family in the Atlanta area, Judge, but I would just ask the court to consider that.
On count 1 is going to be a 500 signature bond through the jail. Count 2 is going to be $1,000 surety. This is a $1,500 split bond. No driving without a valid driver's license, adequate insurance and registration. And Mr. Freeman is scheduled for a jury trial with Judge Edline on July 9th, 2025 at 9 a.m. in case number 24 CR 007658D. So, Mr. Jordan, we will reset both cases to the June 10th SAP, the current one and the one in which he's scheduled for trial. We can unmute courtroom 2. Mr. Freeman, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. Highly recommend that you remain silent, considering that you now have 2 open cases in the State Court of Fulton County.
That's fine. Well, I actually showed him that my license was not suspended. If you look it up in Wisconsin, we looked it up in front of him. It's not suspended. And also the substance was not marijuana. Some that you get out of gas stations that you could get. I showed him that. It wasn't even green light.
Okay. So I've given you a signature bond through the jail on the marijuana. With regards to the license issue, I highly recommend that you speak with Mr. Haddad, and he will check with the Wisconsin Department of Driver Services. If you give him your license number or whatever information you have, I'm sure that would help. But presently, you have a $1,500 split bond.
How does
the jury trial in July?
I got to pay $1,000?
Sure. She'll let you know. We'll let you know.
I'm sorry, I ain't from here.
Thank you.
Next is position 3 on the add-on calendar, Mr. Butler.
Jalil Deontay Butler, case number 25 CR 002973B. Mr. Butler has 3 misdemeanor offenses from May 25th of this year. There are 2 counts of willful obstruction of an officer and 1 count of simple battery against an officer. Mr. Butler, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Keith Cook. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was April 19th, 2025 out of Morrow for theft of services. They have 7 arrest cycles out of Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 2015 for possession of marijuana less than an ounce, nothing further.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 25th, officers were patrolling the area around the Georgia World Congress Center. Were stopped by a Miss Aja Hill, who was trying to see if officers were looking for her because she was trying to contact police to make a report that she'd been assaulted by a man who approached her. She described his physical clothing and his hair. And that he was wearing a lavender hoodie. He attempted to hug her, and she placed her hand out, and then he put his hand in her face and pushed her face and walked off. Officers searched for the suspect around the scene, and they were alerted to a disturbance at a nearby event where a person was trying to enter an event without a ticket. When they approached the person identified as the defendant, they attempted to stop him and give him verbal commands to stop. He refused to stop. And they tried to escort him out of the building. He became aggressive and spit on one of the officers. with spit landing in her face and on her uniform. And officers attempted to place him in handcuffs, and he resisted arrest and ran down some escalators to get away from officers. He was eventually taken into custody, and he was identified by Ms. Hill as the person she'd encountered earlier. We did speak to the victim. She stated she does not know the defendant. She's never seen him prior to this incident. She confirmed the events in the warrant, but she stated she does not want any contact with the defendant. And I'm not sure if she's joined us here on Zoom, but the state's recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond. We're asking for no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while out on bond, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location in the entire Georgia World Congress Center. And we're asking for, and that'll be all. We'll sound for the victim at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Aja Hill, if you are present, this will be the time for you to unmute and start your video. Aja Hill. All right, Mr. Cook?
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I missed the history in general.
For April 19th, 2025, he's got an arrest in Morrow, Georgia for theft by services, and he has otherwise 7 arrest cycles.
Oh, okay. I apologize, Your Honor. My client is 31 years old. He's lived in Georgia all his life. His mother is here. He denies the allegations in the warrant completely. And so we would be asking, he lives at 2000 Kelsey Drive, McDonough, Georgia. We would be asking for a signature bond at the lowest level the court could, the court can offer. He is not employed, and he has a BA. He's an industrial engineer. So beyond that, we would just simply asking, given his inability, his financial inability to meet any financial obligation, we'd be asking for the lowest bond possible.
Okay. And I do beg your pardon, I miscounted. He has 4 misdemeanor charges, including the simple battery against Miss Hill. So on the simple battery against Aja Hill, that's going to be $1,000 surety. And counts 2, 3, and 4 are going to be $500 each. So his total bond is $2,500 surety. His next court date is June 10th. No further contact with Aja Hill. No further violent contact with law enforcement officers, and to stay 200 yards away from the Georgia World Congress Center at 285 Andrew Young International Boulevard in Atlanta, Georgia. He is now trespassed from that location, and he's not allowed at that property until further order of the court. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Thank you.
That was a total of 2,500 surety?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Next is position 14, Mr. Pearson.
State versus Damon Keith Pearson, accused of 2 counts of simple battery family violence from May 25th of this year. His accusation is 25 CR 2965J. Mr. Pearson, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Any priors, please?
The last arrest was April 25th, 2012, out of Sandy Springs for driving while license suspended or revoked. They have 45 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Delaware. 2005 DUI misdemeanor conviction, 2002 assault, 2000 assault. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. Incident location 365 Pardue Trail in Atlanta. Officers were dispatched to this address regarding a domestic dispute. They spoke with a Janelle Pearson, who stated her ex-husband, the defendant, and her daughter, Leia, Leigha Francis, were in an altercation at the residence. Miss Francis stated it started because her younger sister, minor DP, was eating her children's food. She told her to ask next time. The defendant, who was her stepfather, walked in the kitchen, started yelling at her. She yelled for her mother to come downstairs, and when Mrs. Pearson, formerly Mrs. Pearson, came downstairs, she saw the defendant push Miss Francis while she was holding her child. As she began arguing with him, he pushed her as well. Defendant told officers he heard the dispute between the victim and the younger sibling, and that the victim started calling him out of his name. He tried to walk away and she pushed him. The minor told police he didn't see the defendant. He didn't see the victim push the defendant. Our office had a chance to speak with the victim, Janelle Pearson. She stated they're no longer married, that the defendant has been forcing himself into her home. They share 2 children. Confirmed the events in the warrant. She said the defendant is violent and has been stalking her and her children. She stated she's filed for multiple TPOs and they keep getting dismissed. Victim stated defendant has been, the victim stated defendant has been trying to kill her and her daughter. She stated she does not want contact with the defendant, wants him to stay away. Victim stated defendant is not going to listen to any order from the court. Victim stated she does not want any contact with defendant, wants him to stay away from the resident. She is on Zoom. We can sound from Ms. Pearson when appropriate. Given the nature of those allegations, I'm going to ask for $8,000 surety bond, 4 on each count. I'm going to ask for no further contact with Miss Janelle Pearson, Leah Francis. I'm going to ask for a stay away from this home address. We're going to ask for either anger, I was going to say FIP or anger awareness, but we're going to ask for anger awareness. However, the court is inclined to give no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And as I said before, if we could sound for Ms. Pearson when appropriate. Thank you.
All right, I have Janelle Pearson and Leia Francis. If either or both of you want to start your video and unmute, this would be the time to do so.
Hello.
All right, Ms. Pearson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, you heard the prosecutor's narrative of the events alleged. Do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I would like to add that my 13-year-old Demaya Pearson was actually sent to her room, so she did not witness it. So I don't know why he told the police that she was downstairs. She was not downstairs. He was just trying to use her to further what he has been doing for quite some time. In November 2024, I filed for a 12-month TPO that was actually dismissed. He later raped me after that incident, and I contacted the police.
Do we have that case number from Superior Court?
Yes,
Yeah.
For the 12-month hearing, are you talking about?
That one?
Okay, 24CV013995. And I later filed a police report, and I told them that he was aggravatedly stalking me and what actually took place. And they put the wrong stuff in the police report as well, but they did document what I just told you.
So if you want to renew your application for a TPO, this will be the time to do it tomorrow, okay? You know how to do that?
Yes.
All right, that's what we'll do, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Please mute your screen. Thank you. And Leia Francis, did you want to contribute? Otherwise, you are free to remain silent. Okay. Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, obviously, we're not here to try the case. I would point out that my client's history is dated from what it sounds like. A stay away is appropriate in this case under the circumstances. My client is employed. He works at 2 different locations, Judge. I would ask the court to allow him to be released through pretrial services, perhaps anger management as well.
All right, thank you. On count 1, simple battery family violence, that's going to be a $2,000 surety. And on count 2, it's going to be an $8,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. His total bond is a $10,000 split bond, out of which he would have to pay a bond on the $2,000 portion. No further contact with Janelle Pearson, Leia Francis, and the minor referred to as DP. He's to stay away from the incident location at, what was it? Something 365 something trail? Ms. Dunn?
Parducci. Is that correct?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Parducci Trail.
Parducci Trail.
Trail, okay. He's to stay 200 yards away from the Parducci Trail, 365. He's not allowed to go back to that location, not even for a one-time visit. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Miss Janelle Pearson, you can designate a third person or third party whom you know who will be glad to pick up Mr. Pearson's personal belongings and deliver it to him at his new residential address. Within 30 days, he would need to update the court clerk's office of his new residential address so that his items may be delivered to that place by the third party. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And also within 30 days of being released, he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program, attend and complete all 26 classes at his expense. Courtroom 2, please unmute. Yes, Mr. Pearson?
Yes,
You're advised of your right to remain silent. If you choose to waive your right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you.
yes, yeah, and I definitely have to say something to this. Number one, it's an abomination on exactly what happened. I want to explain this to you. That altercation didn't start from me. It started from Leia Francis. Now, I want to bring it back to this case. Number one, that house, 365 Parducci Trail, I am the borrower. Janelle Pearson is the co-borrower. I purchased that house for my family. Now, I think what's being taken out of content also, who the most important people are is Damon and Demaya, not Leia and her kids. Okay, I didn't mind them staying there. I love them. But I'm saying to this, everything that Janelle is saying right now, and even with Leia, it's all about them trying to get my home. Now, I'm going to say this. The court gave me options, either for me to refinance that home or to sell it. When it comes to what she said about these accusations, everything's been dropped. She tried it 3 times, just like they lied on me now, because of this same foolishness. There's no way I should be in this jail cell. I am a father. I've been taking care of this family for over 20 years where none of them had to pay no bills. That speaks volumes.
Mr. Purdue, you are presently divorced from Miss Pearson?
Pearson, I am, but Your Honor, basically right now, the home was being
And I'm sorry, I just want to clarify some things. You said the mortgage is in your name or both your names?
I pay the mortgage.
No, the mortgage is in your name only or in both your names?
It's in both of my names, but I pay.
Okay, and the deed to the house, is that in your name only or both your names?
It's in both our names. However, I am the credit, I'm the borrower, and she's the co-borrower.
Understood. So right now you've got a $10,000 split bond, out of which 2,000 is a surety bond, and then 8,000 is a signature bond through pretrial. So if you pay a bonding company the percentage that they require on the $2,000 portion, then you'll be required to report to pretrial once a week. Please remember that you are to stay away from the property and you're to stay away from the individuals I've identified until further order of the court. Now, if you violate those conditions, what will happen is that your signature bond portion will be revoked and you'll be back in jail and possibly a good bond or a cash bond. So until further order of the court, I highly recommend that you speak with an attorney about how to resolve the house situation in accordance with your divorce decree under case number 2023 CV 376761. Highly recommend you get a copy of that decree, and then you can speak to your divorce attorney on how to execute the terms of that divorce. But until then, by my order, you're required to stay away and have no contact.
to get my clothes because I was staying there. And
Understood. You need to either designate a third person who will pick up your belongings, or Miss Pearson can identify the third person. But you be quiet. And then you need to update the court with your new residential address so the items can be delivered there. But until then, you are not allowed to return to the property. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, Ms. Francis, if you'd like to say anything, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
I would like to say that I was not the aggressor in that situation.
I'm not interested on who is the aggressor or not. The only question I have right now is whether Mr. Pearson comes back to the house at Purdue Trail. Do you live at Purdue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do.
We'll keep it at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Courtroom 2, who do we have, please?
Position 2, Mr. Guard.
This is State versus Kurt Gerald Guard. Mr. Guard has got 4 misdemeanor offenses stemming from a May 24, 2025 incident under case number 25 CR 002952C. The charges are battery, family violence, reckless conduct, and 2 additional counts of battery, family violence. Mr. Guard, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, this is the first arrest.
All right, thank you. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is concerned for the victim in this case. State is going to ask for $1,000 surety per battery, family violence, and then $1,000 surety for the reckless conduct. Again, this occurred Saturday, May 24th, 2025, where the officer was dispatched to 247 Moreland Avenue Southeast in response to an information call regarding a reported physical altercation between the caller, defendant, and his wife, Miss Courtney Guard. And upon arrival, the officer made contact with Mr. Kurt Guard, the defendant, who informed him that earlier in the day, he and his wife had been involved in a physical altercation inside a gray Nissan Altima. Now, the defendant stated that the incident began while the couple was attending the jazz festival at Piedmont Park. And according to him, tension had been building throughout the day, and at some point, Ms. Guard expressed a desire to leave. Now, while driving away from the festival, Mr. Guard attempted to initiate conversation with Ms. Guard, who was wearing headphones, ignoring him. And he stated that he tapped her on the leg to get her attention. As the argument escalated, Mr. Guard said he pulled into a Chevron gas station located at 371 Boulevard Southeast. And while at this location, he claimed that Ms. Guard threw his phone out of the vehicle. And shortly afterwards, a physical altercation ensued. Now, the defendant admitted he closed his fist and struck her in the face multiple times. Mr. Guard stated that when the altercation ended, he drove from the gas station and proceeded to take Ms. Guard to their shared residence. Now, during the drive, Ms. Guard reported removing her wedding ring and throwing it out the window. In response, Mr. Guard stated that he struck her again. Now, the officer spoke with the victim, who confirmed that the incident occurred at the Chevron gas station. And she stated that the tension between her and Mr. Guard began prior to their arrival at the jazz festival. She further explained that she chose to leave the event to avoid a public confrontation. Once in the vehicle, she asked Mr. Guard several times to take her phone home, but he refused, insisting on talking instead. And Ms. Guard stated that Mr. Guard then abruptly pulled into the Chevron gas station, turned off the vehicle, and refused to continue to drive home. Now, she attempted to signal for help from passerbyers, but that was unsuccessful. She then threw his phone out of the window in an effort to get him out of the car. But Ms. Guard stated that Mr. Guard responded by physically striking her multiple times in the face and arms. Now, out of fear and in an attempt to defend herself, she began hitting him back to stop the attack. The victim did state that during the drive home, she rolled down the window, discarded her wedding ring, and that Mr. Guard responded by striking her again. The officer observed visible injuries from the victim, including a bloody lip, bruising to her arms, and a laceration on her face. The defendant had visible scratches on his chin and forearms. The state was able to speak with the victim. And she stated that the victim and defendant are married. They live together at 2439 Greenway Drive in Decatur. They share no children. The victim confirmed that events in the warrant Victim stated that this is not the first time the defendant has been violent towards her in the past, but this is the first time police has been called. Now, the victim stated that she is planning to file a TPO, and she stated that she does not want contact with the defendant and wants him to stay away from the residence as well as her job. The victim wants the defendant to stay away from her daughter's school and work. I believe the victim should be on Zoom as well. The state is going to ask for no further contact with the victim to promote, no further contact at all with the victim. Stay away from the shared residence, anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
And we are fairly comfortable that the venue is appropriate in Fulton County? Oh, absolutely comfortable? Mr. Nixon?
The state is, but let me take a look at that. But I believe
there was an allegation in the warrant that they reported something to DeKalb County Police. So the address is at 247 Moreland Avenue, which is, well, as we all know, that can be a problematic borderline. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about at the present time.
Okay. Well, let me take a look at that.
All right. Courtroom 2, we'll come back to Mr. God. Can we take another case, please? Ms. God, please mute your screen. We'll get back to the God case shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is position 3 on the add-on calendar, Mr. Harris, and he's going pro se.
All right, sir. Thank you. And what number did you say that case was?
Add-on 3. Actually, I'm sorry. It's just 3 on the regular calendar.
3 on the regular. Okay, thank you. This is State versus Tyrone Harris, accused of criminal trespass on May 25th, 2025. His case number is 25 CR 2953Y. Mr. Harris, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court about the facts or circumstances surrounding your case, also any circumstances involving any other open cases, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you from the public defender's office. If you choose to waive your right to public counsel, then you have a right to hire your own attorney at your expense, or you can choose to waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. But please keep in mind that if you choose to represent yourself, you are responsible for all legal decisions. You're responsible for understanding the law, the rules, and the procedures as how they apply to the facts of your case and how it may have an adverse impact upon your freedom and any other open cases you have. So courtroom 2, please unmute. Mr. Harris, given this information, would you like the services of a public defender counsel?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you choose to waive your right to counsel?
No, ma'am.
Well, are you planning to hire your own attorney?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
No, ma'am, I'm not gonna hire an attorney. I'm representing myself and I'm not gonna waive a counsel.
So you are waiving your right to counsel and representing yourself?
Okay, sure. Yes, ma'am. I'll waive my right to counsel too.
Okay. So you are charged with criminal trespass from an incident date of May 25th, 2025. You also have an open case, 25 CR 2224Y. Anything else, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, that was it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Nixon, what's the recommendation for Mr. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor. For Mr. Harris, it looks like the state's going to request a $2,000 surety bond for the criminal trespass. Occurred May 25th, 2025. The officer responded to the B building lobby in reference to a male refusing to leave the premises of the Georgia World Congress Center. And upon arrival, the officer met with Officer Ruffin, who stated a male later identified as the defendant was escorted from the B hall to the registration booth by a floor lead. The MomoCon safety staff member told Mr. Harris he needed to purchase a ticket for that day's event. As a pass he currently had was for Saturday only. It is unknown how Mr. Harris acquired an NRA badge or the MomoCon badge. Mr. Harris was arguing back and forth with them and stating he was told by the director that he could be accommodated for a ticket for that day. Ms. Harris was advised there was no accommodation for badges. Now, the defendant refused to buy a ticket, and the officer told him that he didn't want to buy a ticket. He would leave for the premises. Lieutenant stepped in and spoke with Mr. Harris, advising him of his options. He still refused to leave, even stating, "I'm not leaving." So Mr. Harris was placed under arrest. I've counted Maryland criminal history, 2024 criminal trespass arrest, 2024 theft arrest of Pennsylvania, criminal history, 2024 theft of services, and Florida criminal history, 2023 DUI, and 2023 probation violation. Defense has an open criminal trespass from the Greyhound bus station. The defendant has a guilty conviction for criminal trespass and received credit for time served for 121 days. The state is asking for a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay. Mr. Tyrone Harris, the state is recommending a surety bond, and also I understand that you are scheduled for trial on June 10th for your underlying trespass case. What's your argument for bond?
I'm a royal, ma'am. I have authentication to show you, if anything. I have proof of that. For that case that we're talking about right now, Mark, the director, he does the checks and balances for that Comic-Con or that event that was going on. He was gonna upgrade me to a pass. The dude that actually was trying to say that, I was lying or whatever, he's lying. The McDowell, the lieutenant, also knows about the information too. So, I mean, I have eminent domain. I can't explain it even more. I can't be arrested, but I'm only here just to prove my innocence and prove who I am. Manson moves to the first.
All right. There was probable cause as sworn to by a law enforcement officer before a magistrate judge who made a determination as such and issued an electronic warrant. So the first tenet of detention has been satisfied. The second tenet of detention is under the ALF factors of whether you qualify for either a signature bond or whether you qualify for the surety bond or a cash bond. Given the fact that you have an underlying case for criminal trespass, you were recently awarded a signature bond on May 21st, 2025, and now you're right back in jail within a span of less than 3 days. So given the likelihood that you will reoffend, you do not qualify for a signature bond. For this new charge of criminal trespass, your bond is going to be $2,500. It's a surety bond. You have to stay away from the entire Georgia World Congress Center. And your next court date is June 10th at 9 a.m. We will let Judge Edie know that you are currently in jail unless you make bond. And if you do make bond, make sure you comply with the conditions of this bond order and make sure you show back up in Judge Edie's court for your jury trial on the same day, June 10th.
Okay, no problem. But I have non-monitoring conditions. Also, if you read the state, Tyrone Harris versus state of Pennsylvania. So when you actually read the case, you have to read the conditions that I have that goes with it.
I've read your cases and I've read the conditions set by Judge Edie, and that is sufficient for the bond hearing at the present time. If you have anything else to address, I highly recommend that you draft a brief and file it with the court. Thank you.
It's already in the system. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm only here doing this so I can show proof of who I am. It's not just to keep coming back to criminal trespass.
Since you're representing yourself, make sure that you contact the appropriate individuals. Thank you, Deputy. We are done with Mr. Harris.
No problem.
Next is position 18, Mr. Reed.
18, okay. Not that I'm enjoying this moment, but can somebody advise me of how many more cases we have on the SAP calendar? I have position 5 and position 8. No, position 5 on the add-on calendar. Eric Ferguson. Are we addressing that case today?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And then on the main SAP calendar?
On the main one, I have left 18, 25, 26, In position 11, she waived.
Okay,
And that's that, and also position 2, Mr. Guard. Those are the last ones.
yeah, on position 2, we're waiting on some information, right? Okay, thank you. All right, going back to position 18, Marcus Reed. This is case number 25 CR 002932E. Mr. Reed was a reset from our Friday calendar, and he is accused of battery, family violence, and cruelty in the 3rd degree from May 23rd, 2025. Mr. Reed, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Ms. Hardy, any priors?
The last arrest was September 9th, 2023, out of North Miami, Florida, for a traffic violation. They have 2 arrest cycles out of Florida, nothing further.
All right. Mr. Who's prosecuting this matter? Miss Allen or Miss Dunlap? Miss Harrison? Mr. Nixon?
What
Anyone?
position is it, Your Honor?
This is position 18 on the SAP calendar. This is reset from Friday.
It is. I handle it, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Reed was reset from Friday because of a behavioral incident. There was actually an incident report filed with the jail. The case in front of you, one moment, occurred on the 23rd of May, so Friday, excuse me, at about 1:45 in the morning. Police were called to 2016 Reynolds Drive, Southwest, where they met with the victim, Shaniah Smith. She was seen to have a visible injury to her right jaw. She reported that the defendant had struck her in the face. She had a laceration, a bloody laceration. The defendant actually met police at the door, and when he exited the location, the victim exited behind him. They were separated and spoken to. The victim reported that there was a verbal argument that led to her being assaulted. It was related to the temperature in the home. She said that she's anemic and she needs it to be warmer, but the defendant was too busy playing video games and he found her disrespectful. They argued. They have a 3-month-old who was present in the home, initials LR. The defendant tried to kick the mother of his 3-month-old out of the residence while she was gathering her things to leave. He grabbed her and took her down to the floor where he began striking her, and that's how she got that laceration to her face. We did speak to the victim. We tried to speak to the victim, Your Honor. We're asking for a $4,000 SOB. This is his first arrest in Georgia through pretrial. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, no contact with the victim, Mrs. Smith. And we would ask for DVIP, Your Honor. And if you'd sound for Mrs. Smith, looks like maybe she tried to join us today.
Shaniah Smith?
I'm here. That is not what I told the police at all when I spoke to them. That is not what happened at all.
Wonderful. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so raise your right hand if you want to say anything. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Was he playing video games before the alleged incident?
Yes, ma'am. Now the incident.
And who else was in the property while these video games were being played?
Me, him, and our daughter.
Anyone else?
No.
There were no other cousins around?
No.
Okay. And was there a physical altercation between you and Mr. Reed?
There was an altercation, but he did not strike me, and I did not tell them that he struck me at all.
Okay. Who called the police?
We both called the police. I called first, though.
Why?
Because we did get into it. There was an incident, like a little tussle. He pushed me, and I did not tell him that he struck me. He threw, I was packing my clothes or whatever. We got into it. And he wanted me to pick his clothes up. I was separating our clothes. He asked me to pick up his clothes and put them in the bag. I was going to pick them up, but I told him that I'm not going to lie, I wasn't antagonizing him a little bit. But
I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue what you are saying. So if you want to speak a little slower and not mumble, perhaps I can understand what you are saying.
1 second. What I there was an altercation. However, he only pushed me and like held me down. He didn't strike me at all like that. I'm not. Now I did on my face. I also let them know that where that came from because I had the vacuum and it broke. So I told them it could have came from that. I'm not sure where it came from. I didn't even know it was on my face until the police officer said it was.
Was there a vacuum cleaner involved in this incident?
Yes, I hit him with the vacuum.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Please mute your screen. Thank you. All right. Mr. Haddad, I'm going to do a signature bond through pretrial and a DVIP requirement. Anything else to add, Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, I would just request, it was a little bit unclear, but I would request a no violent contact.
Yeah, I'm just going to do that too.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. On the battery family violence, it's going to be 3,500. The cruelty is going to be 1,500. This is a 5,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. Mr. Reed will report to pretrial twice a month, and within 30 days, he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program to complete 26 classes at his expense without missing or skipping any classes. He must also show proof that he is attempting to get employment. So every time he visits, if he's already got a job, great, then that's good. Because I would like him to be busy taking family violence classes and getting a job and supporting his family rather than sitting at home playing video games. His next court date will be sent to his current address. You're free to go.
Next is position 25, Mr. Tucker.
This is State versus Marshon Tucker, case 25 CR 2951E. Mr. Tucker is accused of theft by taking from May 24th of this year, and he's been advised of his rights, and his attorney is Mr. Haddad. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was March 19th, 2021, out of Cuyahoga County, Ohio, for possession of drugs. That's their only arrest cycle. There does appear to be 2 holds out of Ohio, both for an FTA, one out of Kent, Ohio, and the date of that one is April 27, 2018. And then out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio, for an FTA, and that one is March the 22nd, 2023. Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident at the McDonald's at 8745 Roswell Road on the 24th, so Saturday, May the 24th. Victim in this case reported that she had left her phone on the counter there at the McDonald's. When she realized she'd left her phone there, she returned, asked staff about it. No one had seen it. People denied taking it or receiving something in lost and found. Surveillance footage was reviewed, and it showed the defendant taking the phone off the counter as he left the location. He was a customer there at the time, right after she had left her phone. He got into a vehicle with Ohio tags and left. Investigation showed that his vehicle was located nearby at an apartment complex at about 826, that's 28 Sandalwood Drive. He was then observed in the parking lot, and officers made contact with him. He denied taking the phone initially, but ultimately the phone was recovered in that same vehicle that he was seen leaving the location in with Ohio plates in the glove box, and his mom handed it over to officers. The victim's name in this case, Your Honor, is one second, Mrs. Beverly. We're asking for a $2,000 surety, stay away from the McDonald's at 8745 Roswell Road, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right. And do you know if he's under extradition or just has holds out of Ohio?
I don't.
Okay. Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, to answer the court's question, the Odyssey does not show any holds. However, he is from Ohio and he was actually just visiting, Judge. I think his intent is to return back to back home, and obviously I'll address those. He is 28 years of age, Judge. He does warehouse restaurant work. In light of the charge and his lack of history, Judge, I would ask the court to consider releasing him through release through the jail, Judge.
Okay. A bond is set at 500, it's a surety bond. Stay away from the McDonald's, stay away from Miss Beverly, and make sure that he reports to Fulton County when summoned. His current address appears to be something Memphis in Brooklyn, Ohio.
Yeah, it's outside Cleveland, Judge.
Okay, so that's your correct address. We'll send you your summons to come back to court. This is still an open active case. Thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize. The name of the victim is Mrs. Butler, Geneva Butler. Thank you.
Geneva Butler. Okay.
Thank you.
Next court date is June 10th. Unless he bonds out, then he'll need to make sure he maintains a good address with the court. I'm sorry, courtroom 2, if you want to unmute, did you have a question about your bond? No? Okay.
He just had a question about bond, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I wanted to know why isn't it possible for me to get a signature bond?
You don't have sufficient ties with the state of Georgia, and you have 2 holds in Ohio, which disqualify you from a signature bond.
I don't have hoes in Ohio. It's me having to pay court fines. It's not.
That's enough for me.
Huh?
That's enough for me.
You know what I'm saying? It's court fines that haven't been paid.
When they're paid, I'm sure then that will be removed from your record, and that should make it easier to get a signature bond in the future.
Okay.
Next is position 26, Mr. Wansley.
Jordan Wansley is accused of 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of simple battery family violence from May 24th of this year, case number 25 CR 2954B. Mr. Wansley, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors, Ms. Howard?
The last arrest was April the 17th, 2024 out of Clarkston for PI and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. They have a total of 5 arrest cycles in Georgia. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from the 24th of May, so Saturday at about 2:35 in the afternoon. Police were called to 197 Peyton Road Southwest. On scene, they spoke to the victim. Her name is Kiana Lewis. She's joined us on the Zoom here. She reported that there was an argument because the defendant wanted to leave the location where they live together there and take her car and go out in Atlanta. And she said no. He grabbed her by her shirt at her neck and picked her up. She was unable to breathe. She described his hold on her neck at that time, 6, and said she was worried she was going to pass out if he didn't let her go. He then punched her in the face multiple times, causing her to have swelling on her face and a busted lip. The warrant specifically says the defendant choked her. He then fled, and his vehicle was stopped shortly nearby. He was also seen to have a bloody lip, and then there was a witness at the location who reported they'd seen him flee. We did speak to the victim. She says that the location is her grandmother's house where she lives. She confirmed the information and again responded that he grabbed her, picked her up by her neck with one hand, that she had difficulty breathing and thought she was going to pass out. She says he's never been violent with her in the past and that she's not afraid, but she does believe he's got anger issues, and she never wanted to press charges. She's not in fear of the defendant and wants him to come home. Your Honor, the defendant has arrests from 2024 that look like they were dismissed, that are not violence, and that most recent arrest in April out of Clarkston, that's an open case. We're asking for an $8,000 surety. This case was requested as a transfer up to the DA's office as an aggravated assault because the punching not only was multiple times in the face, which could be an aggravated assault based on using objects, which are hands in this situation, for either causing or almost causing, potentially causing a serious violent injury or strangulation. We didn't hear back from the DA's office, but that's why we're asking for an $8,000 surety and no contact with the victim in this case, Mrs. Lewis, to stay away from wherever she's living and working, since she reported he doesn't live there at her grandmother's house, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. If you'd sound for Ms. Lewis, thank you.
All right, Ms. Kiana Lewis, if you want to address the court, please lower your device so we can see you and unmute.
Hello.
Hello. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So actually that's not the statement that I gave them. I did not say that he had me by one hand and wouldn't let me go. My problem was because he took off in my vehicle, but I didn't call the police. Like, all that was out of my hands.
Who called the police?
I'm not sure. I think my uncle or somebody, but that wasn't his intentions either. It was only just to de-escalate the situation.
And did you have a conversation with the police officer?
Yes, and I was telling him that, but he told me by then that everything was out of my hands. So no matter that I didn't want to press charges or anything, he said it still wouldn't be up to me to decide.
You understand that the police officer might have body cam and will record everything you say, which is then repeated to the judge who gets the warrant.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So if you have a different version of what happened, please contact the victim advocate's office so they can get in touch with the prosecutor and compare what the officer has on body cam and based on what you're saying today.
Okay, because I spoke to someone this morning and they told me.
We did a strangulation assessment, Your Honor, and that was the basis for sending this as a transfer, making that request. And I would note that my information from the victim's conversation with our advocate is that she confirmed what happened. She just said she's not afraid, and she specifically rated his grip on her neck.
I understand that. I'm just saying that, Ms. Lewis, if you have a different narrative now, you might want to contact the victim advocate so they can look at the body cam.
No, you guys, they called me and they asked.
Miss Lewis, you don't.
Okay, I got you.
You do not begin a sentence with you guys.
Okay.
All right. All I'm saying is that if victim advocates has one version from you, the prosecution should have the opportunity to look at what the police officer has, because the police officer has a different version on the warrant. Okay?
And that's what I'm stating too. I was called and I was asked questions whether he did this or that when I had already stated what happened.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All they need to do is look at the body cam and what you said to the officer.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Huda?
Judge, from speaking to my client, he's 23 years of age. He says to me that he's about a month away from getting his electrician license. He is from the Clarkston area, Judge. Told me that he does not live with Ms. Lewis. Judge, I mean, he's indigent. He's currently unemployed. I would ask the court to consider releasing him through pretrial services, Judge.
Okay, thank you. On the battery family violence count 1, that's going to be a possible felony upgrade, depending on what the prosecutors discover. So that's going to be a $3,500 surety bond. Count 2, battery family violence, that's going to be $1,000 surety bond. And count 3 is going to be a $500 surety bond. The total bond is $5,000. It is a surety bond. No further contact with Keona Lewis, to stay away from 197 Peyton Road in Southwest Atlanta. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons.
I'm sorry, but that's not the address either. It seemed like you guys have some things incorrect.
incident place 197 Peyton Road, and the arrest is at either 2936 Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Did you say 179 Peyton Place?
197 Peyton Road.
Yeah, that's the incorrect address. It was 179.
Okay, is that where you live?
Yes.
Okay, so he's to stay away from 197 Peyton Road?
No, 179.
Be quiet. Please be quiet. He's to stay away from 197 Peyton Road in Southwest Atlanta, and he's to stay away from 179 Peyton Road in Southwest Atlanta, both locations. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and his next court date is June 10. Thank you. Next case is.
Add on. Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
Is it going to be position add-on 2?
Add on 5.
5, okay. This is Eric Ferguson, middle name Tillman II. Eric Tillman Ferguson II, accused of battery, family violence from May 24th, 2025. And Mr. Ferguson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad? Or
That's mine, Your Honor, Keith Cook.
Mr. Cook, all right. Any priors, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was February 6, 2012, out of Atlanta for driving while license suspended or revoked. They have 3 adult arrest cycles in Georgia. Nothing further to report.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 24th, officers responded to a call at I'm sorry. Yes, at 105 Walnut Street in Roswell, Georgia. When they arrived, they encountered Mr. Eric Ferguson Sr., who stated that he was having an issue with his son, who had punched him in the face, causing a bruise on the side of his face. He believed that his son was having psychotic episodes, and informed his son that he was going to call a crisis unit to come out and evaluate him. And when he informed the defendant of that, that's when he was struck in his face. He stated to deputies at the time that he was in fear for his life, and he just wouldn't be able to sleep with his son in the house. At the time, the defendant would not come out and speak to officers. They had to breach the door to the basement to actually take him into custody. We did speak to Mr. Ferguson today. He did state that they lived together at the incident location. He does think his son was having psychotic episodes, and he confirmed the incidents in the warrant. He stated that this is not the first time his son has been violent, but it's the first time that the police have been called. He believes that there are mental health issues, but his son refuses to get evaluated. He would like for him to get a mental health evaluation. He wants no contact with him right now, and he wants him to stay away from the residence. The state's recommendation, because we do believe that Mr. Ferguson has valid concerns and we'd like the defendant to get a mental health evaluation, is a $500 surety bond. We're asking for a stay away from the incident location, no contact at all with his father, Mr. Eric Ferguson Sr., no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and I would like to sound for Mr. Ferguson at this time. That'll be all for the state.
Eric Ferguson Sr., if you'd like to contribute to the proceeding, this is the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. They live at 105 Walnut, Roswell, Georgia. My client lives downstairs. Senior lives upstairs. The property, despite what Senior said, is actually owned by my client's sister and Senior's daughter. my client is not working, has nowhere else to go. So we would ask that he be allowed to go back to his downstairs apartment, where he says his father came without permission. So he denies many of the elements in the warrant. And again, we would, given that, we would be seeking a signature bond to whatever level the court seems appropriate, but we would like him to be able to return to his downstairs apartment.
What's his name?
I'm sorry?
What's the sister's name?
Oh, I don't have her name, Your Honor. He could probably provide that.
Courtroom 2, please unmute.
Her name is Brittany Alexandra Ferguson, the true owner of the house, and thus he is a liar and the whole element.
No, Mr. Ferguson, just give your sister's name, okay?
Alexandra Ferguson, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video.
I was not able to reach her.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Cook?
Nothing else. It's just he's not employed, so he needs to go back. He needs to doesn't need to be homeless. He needs to be able to go back to that downstairs apartment. We have no problem with no further contact of any kind.
All right.
Staying away from the apartment building would cause a lot of problems. He also denies the allegations in general.
Understood. Eric Ferguson, you'll need your video on. Mr. Jordan, could you prompt the user to start their video, please? Mr. Ferguson, your video, okay, there we go. Mr. Ferguson, Eric Ferguson Sr., please raise your right hand.
Oh, right.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right. The allegation is that the property where you and your son occupy is owned by Alexandra Ferguson. Do you have any comment about that?
That is correct.
Okay.
My name is also on the title, but she owns the equity is all hers.
Okay. And is Alexandra Ferguson available?
She is not.
Okay. Do you have anything to add with respect to this case?
Well, unfortunately, there's an omission of fact, which is that my son can stay at his mother's house anytime. And so, in fact, he's not going to be homeless if he's prevented from coming back to my house until after the June 10th court date or whenever the court date is. So he has a place to stay. He doesn't need to come back to my house.
Right. Anything else, Mr. Cook?
Yeah, just asking if I can inquire. You said she has the equity, so it's not technically your house, right? You live in
my name is on the title, sir.
Okay, but you live in two separate apartments?
It is one house. They are not separate apartments. It's one address, 105 Walnut Street.
Okay. You live upstairs and he lives downstairs, is that correct?
That is also correct.
Okay.
Nice.
So would you have any objection to him returning to the downstairs area?
I would, because he broke my privacy door, and so I cannot actually keep him out of the upstairs until I finish my repairs on my privacy door.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Bond is set at $2,000, so surety bond. No further contact with Eric Ferguson Sr. Stay away from 105 Walnut Street, Atlanta, Georgia. He's to update the court with his new residential address within 30 days of being released, and there shall be a social worker visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I still have position number 2, Mr. Kurt Gard. Mr. Nixon, have you verified if this is a DeKalb County or Fulton County incident?
Yes, Your Honor. There's no venue issue here. The police responded and determined assault started at the gas station there, and the gas station is located in Fulton County, even though it's close to the boundary line. And further, the state's argument is that the venue would be proper and satisfied under OCGA 17-2-2 because the offense happened near the boundary line.
Thank you. Ms. Courtney God, did you have anything to add? I'll have to place you under oath.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
What would you like to say?
Just that this was very unfortunate. Kurt had a lot of opportunities to choose to do something different, to choose to do the right thing, and he decided to do what he did. It is commendable that he called the police, and it's commendable that he admitted to assaulting me, to hitting me in my face. My eyes blacked. My jaw hurts. He bust my lip in 2 places. I have a huge bruise on my arm. Consequently, like this time last year was the first time he got violent with me in our marriage. We've only been married for a year and a couple of months. I should have made a different decision then, but I'm definitely making a different decision now. I'm very satisfied with what the gentleman said before, very specifically with him not returning to our home. His stuff is here, it's packed. If he wants to send somebody to come and get it, I would prefer that to happen.
And could you give me that address again, please?
2439 Greenway Drive, Decatur, Georgia, 30035.
Thank you. Mr. Haddad?
Judge, on behalf of my client, Mr. Gord, he is 42 years of age. He's a manager. Basically, they do restoration if there's flooding at a house. He does have family here that he can stay with. And honestly, Judge, I thought I wrote it down. I can't remember what the recommendation is, but it seems that he's eligible to be released through pretrial services, Judge, and that's what I would ask.
On each count, it's going to be $1,500. His total bond is going to be a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. He will report to pretrial once a week. He was to have no further contact with Courtney God, and he's to stay away from the marital home at 2439 Greenway Drive. He's allowed a one-time visit with a police officer to retrieve his personal belongings, and he will need to go to the nearest precinct in DeKalb County to go to the home and get his personal belongings. But after that, he's to stay 200 yards away from Mrs. God, 200 yards away from the marital home, and wherever she's physically located. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. Within 30 days, he will update the court with his new residential address in writing. He will also enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and complete all 26 classes at his expense. His next court date will be sent to his new address, provided he provides one in a timely manner. Thank you.
That was a signature bond, correct, Judge?
Correct, sir. Pre-trial level 3.
Okay, thank you.
And then I have position number 11. Mr. Haddad, Centauria McLean, is that your client?
Judge, I think that's Mr.
Cook, is that your client?
Hold on, Judge, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't have a McLean.
Centauria McLean, case number 25 CR 2970G, accused of misdemeanor possession of marijuana.
I believe it's a female, Judge. I had Mr. Could be wrong. Keith, is that your?
It is a female.
Yeah, I believe it's Keith's cases. I'd given him, when we split them, I gave him all the women.
Well, lucky him. But Mr. Keith Cook, Attorney Keith Cook? All right, this was a misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Is the state proceeding with that case?
Your Honor, that is my case. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's a waiver of presence, but we'll go forward with the.
All right. And Ms. Dunlop, what's your recommendation? I'm going with a 500 signature bond through the jail.
I was asking for 1K through pretrial just based on her history of whatever, but that's, yeah.
500 signature bond through the jail. All right, anything else? No? Okay. Just to go over the, deputy, we're just gonna go over the calendars and please, chime in if you have any questions or any corrections to be made. So
Yes.
on the add-on calendar, position number 1, alt was a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Position 2, Chazny Bailey, that's a 2,500 surety bond. Position 3, Butler, that was 2,500 surety bond, reset June 10th. Both for 2 and 3. Okay. Position 4, Leia Carmichael, that's a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with random screens and DVIP. Position 5, Ferguson, that's going to be a $2,000 surety bond, and reset date is June 10th with a social worker visit. Position 6, Figuro, is going to be a $1,500 surety bond. I think I gave him, yeah, it's a $1,500 surety bond and a reset date to June 10th. He's got another case, 25 CR 002188J. And then Montreal Freeman is a 500 signature, it's going to be a $1,500 split bond with a reset date to June 10th. The last case on the add-on calendar, Cheryl King, is a 1,500 signature bond through the jail, pending I think she's been released to a Valdosta hold. So her case is reset to June 10th. Any corrections for the add-on calendar? No? Okay. All right, let's get through this SAP calendar. Not SAP, excuse me, our main SEA calendar. Position number 1, Robert Bell is a 4,500 split bond. Position number 2 is a 6,000 signature bond to pretrial level 3. Position 3, Harris, is a 2,500 surety bond. Reset date is, was it June 10th? Oh, is it being reset to a different date?
My notes say June 10th.
June 10th.
He also has that case in Edie.
Okay, got it. Position 4, Miguel Hernandez, is a $3,000 surety bond. Reset date June 10th. Position 5, Shaniah Johnson's a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 for the notice. Position 6, Adriana Lang is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1 for the notice. Position 7, Ray Love.
It's a reset for tomorrow, Judge, medical.
Okay, so this is a medical reset to May 27th, and there is going to be no Riverside issues. Position 8, Yana Lunger is going to be a 6,000 signature bond to pretrial level 1 with a DVIP and random screens. 9, Jamie Matthews is I think it was a cash bond, $7,000 cash bond, only reset date June 10th with an ankle monitor for 12 months. Position 10, McClendon's a 3,500 signature bond to pretrial level 2. Position 11, McLean's a 500 signature bond through the jail. Position 12 was Norcross. Position 13, Parnum, is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 14, Pearson is a $10,000 split bond. Position 15, Purdue, is a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. And that was for Purdue, position 15. Position 16, Purdue, is a 4,500 signature bond through pretrial level 2 with 12 anger management classes and random screens. 17, L. Rainey is a $1,000 surety bond. Reset date is June 10th. 18, Marcus Reed is a 5,000 signature bond to pretrial level 2 with a DVIP. 19, Anthony Rogers is a 3,500 surety. And for Anthony Rogers on position 20 is, I believe that was a signature bond to pretrial. Yeah, 3,500 signature bond to pretrial with a DBIP requirement. Position 21, Charles Rucker, that's a, I think it was $1,000 signature bond for pretrial, reset date, June 5th at 11 a.m. Would that be correct?
I have a 500, you said for Rucker?
Yeah, was it 500 or 1,000? I couldn't recall.
500.
500.
Have 500 too.
All right, 500 surety, reset date next Thursday at 11 a.m. Cassandra's Santiago is a 4,000 signature bond to pretrial level 1 with DBIP. Position 23, Michael Scott is a 4,000 surety bond and reset date is June 10th. Position 24, Napoleon Smith is a 1,400 split bond, reset date June 10th. 25, Tucker is a 500 surety bond, reset date June 10th. Position 26, Wansley is a $5,000 surety bond, reset date June 10th. That's 26. 27, Jaylen Ward is a 6,500 split bond, reset date June 10th. 28, Williamson is a 2,500 signature bond for pretrial level 1 for the notice.
Good.
Mr. Jordan, any corrections?
Well, positions 23 and 24. Did you say 4,500 surety for position 23?
Position 23 is 4,500 surety, 3,500. 4,500 surety, sorry. 3,000, 4,000, 4,500 surety. Reset date June 10th. It's 3,000
for 24. I had 1,450.
split bond. Yeah, the littering is 100. The possession of marijuana is 100 signature bonds with the jail, and the willful obstructions are 500 surety. Tampering with evidence is $250 signature bonds with the jail, and public drunk is 500 surety.
All good.
Right?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the bond for Kurt Guard.
Okay, but let me finish 24. Mr. Jordan, did that add up to 1,450?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good God. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was right. 1,450. Position 2, you had a $6,000 sign-on bond pretrial level 3.
It was 1,500 on each count for a total of a 6,000 signature bond pretrial level 3. DBI, no contact, stay away, and random screens.
Thank you.
All right. Any other corrections? Questions? All right. Thank you, folks. This was a marathon, and hope you all are ready for tomorrow's short work week. So
thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for all the hard work.
Appreciate it. Thank you.